Oh boy. Oh my god. My armchairs are so high for no reason. Welcome, chat, to our last stream of the summer. Oh, that feels so crazy to say. The summer's been kind of long, actually. Let me pull up all the necessary things I need to pull up. I've come to the conclusion that it's probably better to start stream on time and then finish setting up. Because, like, people don't roll in for the first minute or two. Like, the only people watching this right now are people watching a VOD. Like, you watching right now are not watching live. There's nobody in chat right now. There will be in a minute or so. So during this time, I might as well set up the last couple of items. The music's a little bit loud. But, yeah, this is our last stream of the summer. That does mean that tomorrow is the first day of school. Oh, okay, I don't know how I feel about it, because, like, on one hand, like, we got our schedules, our schedules got leaked, technically, but we got our schedules just the other day, and, like, I'm excited, like, I'm looking forward to all the classes. On the other hand, it's school, you know, and I'm not quite a fan of spending 8 hours in that building. So we'll see, but whatever happens, we'll find out tomorrow, which means next week we're back to our study with me's, which is crazy, because that means we have homework to do. I'm so not looking forward to homework. I feel like life would be infinitely better if there was just no homework. Like, being for real, if I was able to go to school, learn in all the classes I wanted to, that'd be great. Do all my extracurriculars, all my clubs, and then simply not have homework? Oh, that would be a dream. I think my microphone's a little too loud, and that is my bad. Is my microphone twice? Hold up. 3 times. How many times can you hear me? Hold up. Let me hear myself. Which means next week we're back to our... Oh, I was way too loud. That is my bad, chat. I'm gonna move... How do I even do that? I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. Can you still hear me if I do this? Hold up, let me check if you can still hear me. Hello. There's delay. There's no delay. Okay. There's no delay. Perfect. Okay, you can hear me now. Okay. Let me know if that gets to be too much again. That is my bad. Alright, so there are a couple things that I wanted to dilly-dally about before I started off, with the test. Oh, I don't want to take another test right now. The first of which is, I want to talk about summer reading. So, about that. I think it's technically not due for another week. I'm fairly certain that it's not due until, September 14th, if I'm not wrong. But, you know, I always want to get summer reading done during the actual summer. So, I got most of the way through my book. I started writing it today. For the record, my actual summer reading, like the prompt we have to write, is the max amount of words is 500, the minimum is 350. It's like no problem. So I wrote out most of it today. And honestly, I might just finish it after stream. I might feel so dead and tired of writing after doing 3 essays in the next 3 hours. But if I have it in me, I might just finish with some reading tonight, because I do not want to I don't want to go into the school year with extra work. You know what I mean? I feel like it's always better to just start off the year fresh and clean. Speaking of which, though, I did also get added to a couple Google Classrooms, which is exciting. There's always that, like, few days leading up to the school year where all your teachers realize they need to archive your old classes. They all start disappearing. And then all the new ones are popping up, all the invites, for the teachers who know how to use technology and can invite you without you having to do it yourself. So I'm sure anyone else who uses Google Classroom can relate, because it does happen to all of us every year. And I already have an assignment, which is like the one thing I hate is when teachers post assignments that are due soon before the year starts. Like, I don't want anything on my Google Classroom to-do list until the year starts. I mean, it's nothing. I have a student survey, which is like a get-to-know-you type thing assigned for my physics class. But, like, you know, nothing crazy. All right. Oh, one other thing. Wait, pause music, pause music. In the time that I have not been streaming, because I didn't stream last week, for personal reasons, a new New York Times game has entered the scene. I thought it'd be a really cool thing where I go over here and it would automatically show what I'm talking about. I'm talking about freaking Pips. I also don't want to show the timer yet. We're not starting yet. Pips is a really fun game. I might start doing it on stream if you guys want. But I also thought it'd be nice just to kind of get started with it today, just to see how it goes. To get my mind, more awake, more ready to go. So I'm going to do this now to start off, and then we'll see how we get on from there. So I'm going to prematurely put on this music. And let's do a freaking Pips real quick. I might add this to my end of stream, but not tonight. So for tonight, let's just get started with it. For those who don't know Pips, whatever's in the equals has to equal each other, whatever is in this has to equal 10, whatever is in this has to equal 4. So for example, I'm going to assume that, I'm going to assume that this is here, because that's like an empty spot. This needs to equal 10. So I could put 4 and 6. Yeah, this is it. 4 and 6, and then the 2 and the 2. Perfect. Let's do medium. We're doing all of them, by the way. Greater than 4. There's a couple options greater than 4. Oh, all of them have to be equal here? It's probably going to be this. Because there's only 3 3s. So it's probably going to be this. And this is greater than 4. This also has to be all equal, though. So this will probably be this. And then this will be... Oh, I was going to do this to make it 3. This has to be great... Oh, less than 3. I thought it said greater than for a second. And that works out perfectly. This game is so satisfying because like you feel like you're kind of guessing, even though you're not really guessing, you're making like accurate decisions, but it feels so nice at the end to get it all done. There's a couple options for this. There's so many options. There's 2 3s, there's 3 3s. What about 4? There is only 1 4. And it has to be... I'm going to put it this way for now. That can change. That means that these 3 have to equal up to 9. So I'm going to put 2 with 2 here. So that this has to equal 7. Which will be this. We have a 5 and a 3 here. So I'm going to do this. And those 2 1s can go here. And then this 3... Well, first of all, this 1 has to be... Oh, but that has to be 6. Wait, this has to be 7. Not... Oh, yeah. All that has to be 7. Wait, but this has to be 6. No, this has to be... this. Which means this still has to equal 7. But I don't have something that it can equal 7. Something's not right here. Oh no. Y'all, I promise you, I've been playing Pips like so often this past week, and it's been nothing but great to me until now. I don't think this is like this then. Honestly, it might be 2 and 1. And then this has to equal 8. Which also isn't an option. Yikes. I just got rid of everything. Oh, yikes. Ooh. I don't like how this is looking. Yikes. Ooh. I'm like stuck. Oh boy. I think it might be these 2 connected up here, and then these 2, so the 9 and the 5 are connected. So it's going to be 5 and something, which means it's going to have to be this. And then, if that's 5, then we need 4 here, so it would have to be this. And then this 2 would have to then pair with this 1. So we need 6 here, which we have. And then this will be 6, 1. There's your 3, and there's that. There we go. It just took a bit of reordering, but we got there. Alright, so that's Pips. Let me know if you guys want me to do that at the end of stream, because I normally do Wordle and Strands. I don't know if I want to do a Wordle, Strands, and Pips every day, but I do like Strands. Like, Wordle's a non-negotiable. We always do Wordle. That's happening. The question is, do we do Strands and Pips, or do we do just Pips or just Strands? Because I like Pips, you know? It's like a logic game that's not word-based. I feel like the New York Times' best games have been word games, and this isn't one of them, which I like the variety. Ugh, we'll have to see. We'll have to see, because I don't know. I don't know yet. But at least for this stream, we're going to have Strands and Wordle, because we already did Pips. So, with that, I think it's time to introduce how this exam is going to work. So let's freaking get to it. So, let me first just start by pulling up the Google thing. Oh, it's actually on this Google tab. You're right. Here. So this is going to be the exam. Unfortunately, unlike last week's where I had a full like thing I could fill out, like a interactive one, I don't have that for AP Lang. I don't know why. I think it might just be like a history exams have it and the rest don't type of thing. So I'm actually going to make this on a new Google Doc. So I'm going to split this off. You're not going to be able to see it for a second, but that's okay. I don't know what stream just saw, but you're about to see another. There you go. Okay, so this is going to be the structure. There we go. Oh, we also need to get rid of the taskbar so it actually fills up the whole page. I'm so freaking prepared for this stream, you guys. There we go. Okay, actually, you know what? Stop. We need to be serious about this. The AP Lang exam, for those who do not know, consists of some amount of multiple choice. Does it say here at any point? Does it say how many? 55 multiple choice. Yeah. So we're going to start off with 55 multiple choice. And then there's going to be 3 essays. I'm not entirely 100% on what all of the essays are. It's going to be much more of a we'll see in the moment if I can figure it out type of thing. I did research it this morning, so I know there are 3 exams, and I know we have 3. I'm going to make sure. How long do we have for the AP Lang exam? I'm pretty sure it's 3 hours. I'm just making sure. 3 hours, 15. I'm still putting a 3-hour timer because I'm not going to take the whole 3-hour 15. I'm also not going to let myself take the whole 3-hour 15 because I want to go to sleep at a reasonable time tonight. We have school tomorrow. So, with that, I think I'm going to get into it. Yeah. And then, I'm going to scroll past all these questions super quickly. I'm pretty sure there's an answer sheet somewhere. These are still the essays. Answer key, yeah. And then there's a scoring guide. So, there's an answer key for all the multiple choice. And then we will be using ChatGPT as we always have to grade the essays. And we'll get out of here. So with that, I'm inclined to get started with the stream and the test, even though I don't want to. Right. Oh, I need to pull up the music. You're right. Right. Oh, I'm not signed into my thing. Oh, don't you love it when you're not signed into your music so you can't frickin' play the music on the stream, even though you really want to play the music on the stream. And then, oh my god. Somehow my Wi-Fi is like barely working on Google, but I'm still live. Because being live takes so much more Wi-Fi. Alright, here we go. There we go. Okay, is this timer up? Timer is up. Let me reset it real quick. There we go. Alright, I'm going to make myself smaller and in the middle again, as always. Alright, let's get started. I need to make this a little bit smaller. I need to get closer as well so I can actually see what I'm doing. Oh. All the questions are based off of readings. Yikes. I completely thought that it was going to be like all the history exams where the multiple choice are just questions with very short excerpts. I have to read all this and then answer all these questions. Wait, it said first 15. Oh, reprinted. I see. Alright, I'm going to read this in silence because I'm not reading this out loud, and then we'll get started. Just going to make this larger. Actually, let me read the questions first. I actually like to read the questions better. Alright, main purpose we'll figure out after we read the whole thing. Our contrast prints in the first paragraph. Okay, we need to find a contrast in the first 5 lines. Okay. Oh, there's 5 answer choices for all of these. Not even 4. Okay. Formal and informal learning, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because it's like you learn in school, but also you learn from the day-to-day. So it's going to be, what? Option C? No, B. No, C. This is going to be so much more miserable to stream than I thought. I thought, because like the history exams were not as bad, but okay. In the course of the second paragraph, the focus argument shifts. Okay. 6 to 21. Okay, so they're just saying that, like, it's okay for kids to make mistakes as they learn. I agree. But sure. There's no argument yet, for the record. I don't see an argument here. I just see, Am I still in frame when I scooted down? I am. Prepare for takeoff. Welcome to stream. This is going to be AP Lang today, so it's a bit more boring, at least in my opinion, than the history ones we've been doing. But it's okay. First day school is today. Oh, mine's tomorrow. We're getting there. We're starting out. Next week we'll be back with a study with me. So if you have any homework, my bad for this week. Next week I got you. Alright, I gotta lock in back on this. I don't get what it means by argument shifts. Like, what is... If we had visitors and setting them to make these blunders over again to entertain the company. It's talking about kids, like, making mistakes while learning a language, and then adults, like, sometimes, like, find it funny. The same elements of incongruous as the overthrow of an old stout gentleman who sits down and astonished in the snow. I guess it's children's learning in general? Because I don't talk about it, so I guess it could be E. I'm going to go with E, just because that makes the most sense. Lines 14 to 16, yet this, elders, serves which the following, 14 to 16. Yeah, this is common household sport, so long as there is little children act zany for the amusement of the elders. Which serves the following functions. A characterization of children as playthings. It could be C, but I don't think it is, because it's talking about the kids as well. It's not from the children's perspective, I don't think. As long as there's a little kid to act zany for the amusement of his elders. I think it's a characterization of children's playthings. Because it's like, it's telling them that, like, the elder is, like, amused by it. It's like a plaything to him. I want to go with A. In the context, the word sport is best interpreted to mean, entertainment. Yep. Alright, don't worry. Alright, enjoy. Enjoy the stream of me failing this or leave. Whatever you want to do. I need to do this. Okay. Which of the following best describes the rhetorical function of the third paragraph? I need to read now. Babies to fall, it's natural, not funny. What's it asking? Rhetorical function. There's a rhetorical function? Oh, I'm so cooked. Baby has to fall. It's natural and not funny. It's saying the baby has to fall as in, like, make mistakes. But it's like, it's using a simile. Appeal to the authority of experts? No. A stern retort to the author's critics? No. It makes a concession to the opposing view? Not really. No, it doesn't really. It restates the author's argument. Is it undermined in the following paragraph? It is not. So it's a transitional, but it restates the thing. So D. 7 is line 26 is 41. Let's read again. I'm assuming of 19 or 20 means 19 or 20 years old. Oh. Okay, so it tells this story of this young adult who was, like, annoying and had a violent dislike, except she wasn't 19 or 20, she was 2.5. That's funny. Okay. Primary functions is emphasize a point by sending is for an example. I'm pretty sure it's this. Yeah, it's emphasizing a point by presenting an absurd example. But it flips that example. It talks about how, like, that is instead normal, almost hypocritical. It's not really hypocritical, though, because they're 2 years old. I think it's A. I'm fairly certain. Oh, yikes. A. Alright, 8 is lines 42 to 56. It is obvious on the grounds of physical superiority and age. Yeah. What am I reading to? 56. Okay. In the 6th paragraph, the author advances her argument by well, what the author does is, like, bring up, like, first starts off with questions. It starts off with, like, well, why is it that we don't get mad at the 2-year-old and we do get mad at the 16-year-old? Or, sorry, the 19 or 20-year-old. And then it kind of says, like, there's no basis except that they're a child. So that's kind of disagree. It doesn't really say, but it kind of disagrees. So I don't think it's B. I don't think it's C. Because it's not really... The author isn't conceding or accepting. It's definitely not E. But it's not eliminating explanations either. So I think it's D then? No, it's not. No, it's not doing that though. I think it's C. I think we have to. I think we're just going to assume that that the author's conceding. I don't know. We'll move on. 9. The author's tone in that in 42. Now, why the insulter? Now, why, in the name of reason, courtesy, education, justice, and any lofty and noble consideration, why should the 2.5-year-old thus be insulted? Oh, the insulter. What is the point of view of the insulter? Now, why, in the name of reason, courtesy, education, justice, or any lofty noble consideration, why should the 2-year-old and a half be thus insulted? What is the point of view of the insulter? I don't know what this word means. It feels defensive. Like, reading it out loud, that felt defensive. We'll come back to 1 at the end, after the passage is over. Alright, moving on to 10, which is also 46. According to the author, the obvious grounds can be ruled out. 46 to 47. Is it on the obvious ground of physical superiority and in age and strength? It cannot be that, for we do not gratuitously outrage the feelings of all persons younger and smaller than ourselves. There's too many big words. I'm being so for real, there's too many big words. Bro, we have class tomorrow? I know, that's why I'm doing this today. I'm doing this today because we have class tomorrow. And I don't want to hear it from you. Makes unfounded claims? No. Relies on distinction? Cannot be generalized. I mean, it's kind of C and E. No, it's kind of both. It's saying that, like, it can't be because here's an example where it, like, wouldn't make sense. It cannot be a relationship for such conduct. So, I'm going to go E, because it talks about a different occurrence of behavior. Why is it like this? Why did it just do that? Why does it... No. There we go. Okay. Analogy presented in line 59, like a machine top in 61. I need to read till 61. Okay. When a baby, when good, is good at her first rate plaything. It said playthings, so that one of those earlier answers are right. A toy to play with, or to play on, or to set. Like a machine top. What I laugh at is legitimate frolic in small children as the cat plays with their kittens, but it's not the least inconsistent with respect. Grown people can play together and laugh together without jeering at each other, so we might laugh at our children even more than we do, and yet never laugh at them. The pathetic side is that children are even more sensitive to ridicule than grown adults. They have no philosophy to fall back upon, and here's a hideously unjust side. If they lose their tempers, being yet unlearned in self-restraint, if they try to turn the table and their tormentors, then the wise grown only punishes them for disrespect. That's actually valid. They must respect their elders, even in this pitiful attitude, but who is to demand the respect due to youth? Damn, that was actually tough. Wait, I actually, like, agree with this adult now. Justice for babies, man. Like a machine topping as the capital is written, serves to make a distinction between the kinds of games that children's play. No. Difference how people... No. Instead of a paradox, let's read the question. What they know? Man, not really. Illustrate unintended consequence? Not really. Present a series of pleasant images to soften the tone of the argument. Kind of. I mean, like, they are pleasant images. It does soften the tone. So, like, it feels like a dumb answer, but it might actually be E, because I don't like any of the other options. Because it doesn't distinct between children and adults, so it's not A. Difference between how people treat children. It doesn't talk about how they should strive to treat children. I don't like the word paradox here. It's not really a paradox. It's more like similes. It's metaphors. So it's not really this. It doesn't talk about unintended consequences. So I'm actually going to go E. It feels kind of dumb, but I'm going E. 60 to 65. What was that again? This one. Yeah. Serves to... Well, what is it again, actually? Legitimate frolicking, but it's not really things to respect. Okay, so it talks about how, like, you can laugh with children, not necessarily at children. Not a story. Kind of. Yes, it is a distinction. Offer an example? No. Presents a personal anecdote? No. Introduce an analogy? No. So it's B. Because it does talk about a distinction. 13. The quotation marks around the word disrespect in line 72 highlights the irony of the word because the behavior it describes represents supposed chosen differential. Nope. Parents' lighthearted attempts. Nope. Children's eager mockery. Nope. Adults' concerted efforts to please children. Yeah, it's the children's inevitable reaction. Because, like, because if a child doesn't like being laughed at, then, like, it doesn't know self-restraint. It's not, what is it going to do but yell, cry, and scream? Then the adults always take that as, like, that's disrespectful. So that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm a little too low, actually. Yo, I'm lucky taking hello time. I'm taking, like, 1 minute per question right now. That's kind of crazy. I'm slow as hell. Okay. I go a little faster. E. Wait, I missed something. Wait. Oh, no, I already put E. Never mind. Still 2 to 14. Author includes pronouns we through the passage to... Oh. What does it say we? We might laugh with our children. We as in adults. We means adults. Not children. Well, it talks about we as in, like, us, we are adults, is what it's saying. So, it's not children. I don't think so. I don't think so. No. And no. Because writers is kind of random. It's other adults in general. So, it's B or C. I'm going to go with B. Just because, like... But it could be C. I'm actually going to go C. I think that makes more sense. I can't explain why, I just think it makes more sense. Manito, welcome to stream. I'm working on the exam. For this exam, I am looking at chat just because I hate these types of exams. I dislike English class. I'm just going to say that outright. Sorry to my AP Lang teacher. English is not one of my favorite ones. So, I do need some sanity in looking at chat. But yeah, you have a purple crown. It's this, like, ranked system. I don't know why they have it. But it's a different rank every stream. Like, it looks like it resets. Because, like, Asher barely comes into stream, and he's number 2, which is not normal. But I'll prepare for takeoff talk the most, and he's not even on there, so I don't know what that's about, but whatever. We continue. Okay. And it's, like, only the basic. For English subjects, it's annoying here, too. Oh, well, I'm definitely not taking the basics. I'm taking an AP class this year for English, so I'm definitely not doing the basics. Oh, because your English class isn't like English here. Your English is learning English. That's like, your English class is my Spanish class. And, like, I don't know if you have, like, a Portuguese class, but your Portuguese class is what my English class is. But, yeah. Spanish class I'm actually fine with, because I feel like it's useful. I'm learning. Like, even if it's difficult, I feel like I'm learning, so it's fine. Alright, I'm going back to this exam. 15. In the passage as a whole, the author contrasts which of the following? I don't know. The treatment of children and the treatment of adults. Actually, yeah, it is A. Because it's like talking about how, like, it contrasts is a funny word, because I feel like what the author is saying is that they often discipline children the same way you would an adult, even though the children don't have, like, the prefrontal cortex to think that much, you know? With that, I need to go back to 1. Primary purpose of this passage is to critique a common practice. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, we've moved on. We finished the first segment. Oh, that felt good. Oh, the music turned off. I don't know how long ago that happened. That's my bad. That happens. It's unfortunate. What are you saying, Benito? Is Portuguese class annoying as well? Yeah, it's annoying here. Just as much as it is there, I assume. Alright, continuing on. Next passage. In context, the author's let me continue here, actually. The author's primary purpose in the first passage is to blank. Okay. In attempting an analysis of Lincoln's humor... Okay. In attempting an analysis of Lincoln's humor, one is immediately confronted with two difficulties. In the first place, many sources were told by him. Is this like Abraham Lincoln we're talking about? Who's Lincoln? Yes, Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln's probably told no more than half the stories in which McClure credited him. Okay. Primary purpose is to... It's not A, C, or D. The question is, like, it is talking about errors, but at the same time, it is talking about the skepticism of, like, what I wonder what state of the field means. Because, like, if state of the field means, like, what is written by what, that it's E. I'm going to go with E and hope that's what they mean. How does the author use note 1 to extend his argument? Oh, there's notes I have to pay attention to here. It gets linked after McClure credited him. Far more trustworthy and scholarly is this dude. Laughing, humorous anecdotes from original stories by Abraham Lincoln. So it says McClure's thing, and then it also says a far more trustworthy and scholarly source is this other guy from UC Berkeley. Who's Arnold? Zoll is that guy, so... A disagreement? He claims McClure is reliable? No. Questions? Yes, I think it's C. Yeah. Yeah, Zoll is an alternative source in that regard. 18. In the second paragraph, the author primarily does something. We'll find out. The second difficulty lies in the effectiveness of the joke. Measure. Lincoln was a master of storytelling. He would have been a great YouTuber. Bro, Abe Lincoln would have been a W YouTuber with his storytelling art. And when told... Hold up. Sorry, what just happened? My computer is glitched. I don't know if you caught that on camera. Okay, anyway. For Lincoln... Even the dull joke might be irresistible. Okay. D. Just based off the matter of it just is what happened. Third paragraph. His stories may be literally retold, every word, period, and commas, real humor perish with Lincoln. For he provoked as much laughter as the grotesque expression of his homely face as by the abstract fun of his stories. And there's a second thing here to Henry Whitney, who's the person who said that, so it's from this. Life in the Circuit. Okay, 1940. The author cites Lincoln primarily to confirm. I mean, he's just citing a source. Yeah. Just confirming what it said. Note 3 serves which surface? Purpose. Oh my god. Where is note 3? Here. His manner of recital, declared Judge David Davis is funny. His manner of recital was in many respects unique, if not remarkable. In 1836, Maryland-born David Davis settled in Bloomingburg, Illinois, which is where Lincoln was from. Close friend of Lincoln, as a close friend of the judge in 8th Circuit from 1848 to 1862, when Lincoln named him to the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay, so they were friends, and then he made him a Supreme Court member. Okay. Feels like a conflict of interest, but sure. I want to finish this paragraph out. His countenance and all his features seem to take part in his performance as he picked the point of a joke. Seriously, it sparkled. His corners, this frame quivered, expressed excitement. At the point or nub of the story, he calls it, came, no one's laugh was heartier than his. It's funny. The third note is to explain who David is. Oh, that's funny. I didn't think about this. I don't think that's what it's indicating. It's not this. I'm going to say it's a reliable source because they were friends. It says they were friends, right? Yeah, a close friend. It wasn't just political. Yeah, so E. Which the following is the fourth paragraph, 27 to 37, describe. Okay. Wait, I read this. Kinda. Also kind of this as well. That doesn't talk much about the audience. And not the significance or the need to entertain. So is it immersion or is it mood? I think it's mood. I think it's talking more about the... Yeah, it's talking about eyes sparkled, smiles seemed to gather up, curtain-like corners in the mouth. But it's also... It's both. It's like it's immersion, but it's also... Oh, but it's not when he was with people. It's in storytelling, so it's A. I didn't read out all the answer choices. I should probably start reading the answer choices before I start getting confused. Okay, let's continue onwards. (22) Anecdote in the fifth paragraph primarily demonstrates. Alright, fifth paragraph. Humor had a general appeal. Not only circuit lawyers, also West Virginia's farmers, even urban Easterners radically succumbed to it. In 1842, ex-president Martin Van Buren, making the tour of the West, stopped one night in the village of Rochester. Oh, because then the West was the Midwest. Democratic politician Springfield went out on a mass to meet and entertain him, taking Lincoln and a few other Whigs along. Whigs was the party, the main party before the Republicans came along, of which Lincoln was the first. Van Buren related several amusing incidents of New York politics, while others told tales of early life on the frontier, but all yielded less at Lincoln, who kept up or far into the night with seemingly inexhaustible supply of yarns. So favorite is his that his sides were sore from laughing. And then there's just this. Fifth paragraph, anecdote primarily demonstrates how it spoke to a large audience because it was people from the East as well. And not B, not C, not D, not E. Because like, there's a lot of political stuff in here, and he did talk to a president who is not in his party, but he also created his party, so you know it's a little different. And broad audience, it's broad audience. Because not only is it across parties, it's across the nation. Like, people from the East are coming to the West to hear him. Alright, note 6. Where is note 6 at? There. Alright, let's continue then. Lucas, I'm failing all my classes. Man, you... Sir, you're like 2 weeks into the school year. You just quite simply cannot be failing your classes. And if you are, then you should subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can freaking join our study sessions and we could study together next week. W plug. Alright, let's continue. In many cases, the stories Lincoln told were not original, although he often embellished and improved them. He himself repeatedly claimed credit for authorship and describes himself as the retail dealer. His proficiency lay rather than intrinsic memory, uncanny power association, his histrionic skill. There's the notes to Thomas's note. Lincoln's skill as a record may have been to some extent hereditary. From his father came that knacking of storytelling, which made him so delightful among acquaintances and so irresistible in his stump and forensic drolleries, wrote William Dean Howells in his campaign biography of Lincoln. And Lincoln, when he corrected a copy of this book for his friend Samuel C. Parks, let the statement stand. Editor's note. In 1863, he became an associate justice of the Idaho Supreme... No. Yeah, Samuel C. Parks of Springfield is a friend of Lincoln's. In 1863, he became an associate of the Idaho Supreme Court. His copy of Howell's biography, complete with Lincoln's penciled-in corrections, is reproduced in fascismal. It sounds like fascism in this edition. Okay. What was the question? What is Thomas's note? I don't get it. Thomas's note is this. Oh, it's the whole thing. No. It's this. Yeah. Okay. He's talking about his dad. I don't think he's indifferent. He's just not saying he's a better storyteller. Like, better is a hyperbole. It doesn't say anything about how he gave great speeches, because it wasn't him who gave great speeches. Someone else. Observed it. Also, the first we're talking about what Lincoln was to his father, which doesn't mention Lincoln's opinion. So I guess it would have to be E, like Lincoln acknowledged, even though like it doesn't say. But I guess like only he would know. I'm gonna go with that. What purpose does the editor's note serve? The editor's note talks about who Samuel C. Parks is. Yeah, I think it's this. It could also be D. But it could also be A. It contextualizes a personal source of information about Lincoln. I actually think it's A. I think the first two were too hyperbolic for my liking. What I don't like is that the past 6 options have all been vowels. That concerns me just a little bit. And I'm gonna move on as if that isn't the case. But keep in mind it concerns me. Okay. 25. 62 to 68. I have to read. He'd not forget the good things he heard of Charles Sumner was never a familiar story to illustrate his meaning. When he spoke, the recent West seemed to vie with the ancient East in an apologue and fable. His ideas moved as the beasts entered Noah's Ark in pairs. At times, his illustrations had a homely felicity, and with him, they seemed to be not less important than argument, which he always enforced with a certain intensity of manner and voice. And then that links to Charles Sumner's eulogy. Okay. When he spoke to voice. On what line? 62. When he spoke, the rest seemed to vie. And with him, they seemed to be not less important than the argument, which always seemed to enforce with a certain. Sorry, there was just, I don't know if y'all picked up, there's screaming happening outside my door. Okay. I'm just gonna choose to ignore it and not go deal with it. Okay. I don't understand those lines. Suggests that Lincoln did not describe fantastic creatures. Tailored his delivery? I guess kind of it is what it's talking about. Cause it's talking about like how like it seemed like the jokes seemed to be not less important than arguments. So that means like it always tied to an argument. And you always enforce that with a manner of voice, a certain intensity. So it could be B. I'm gonna go with B. Taken in context of the passage, note 7 indicates that Sumner's texts. Memorial of Abraham Lincoln. It's a eulogy. I don't know what to tell you. It's not a campaign speech. I don't know what a compendium is. It's not any of these. It's a eulogy. Oh my god, what? Brother. It's a freaking eulogy. Give me that's an option. It's not a campaign speech. It's not a volume. It's not a selection. The forward to a museum catalog? I mean, I guess if it's a if it's in a museum where there's a memorial of Abraham Lincoln in Boston. Dude, I don't like that it doesn't give me a better answer. I'm gonna go with E, but I don't like that answer. Final paragraph. Here we go. Much of Lincoln's success as a storyteller was due to his talent for mimicry. In the role of a storyteller, said T.J. Onson, son of the New Salem Cooper, I never knew his equal. His power of mimicry was very great. Like doing impressions of people. Underscores, which of the following implied ideas? He was a shrewd observer. Yeah, I'll actually do that. Whoa, who put that as an option? Lincoln, my goat, was not unattractive. I think it's a shrewd observer. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Because they do talk about it a lot. Alright, I've read the whole thing. I have 3 more questions. 28. Taken as a whole, the notes suggest that the author... Who's the author? It does not say. Okay. The note suggests the author relies mainly on relies mainly on primary than secondary sources. That is true. Yeah. Did the music cut out? It did. And now it's back. Passage is primarily... Did I already answer it? Yeah, okay. This passage is primarily characterized by anecdotal descriptions. Yep. None of Lincoln stories, no sensation... There's very few sensational accounts. No political stuff, and nothing about the audience. A. I like how it gets easier when it talks about it as a whole and not specific for parts. In the passage, the author primarily represents Lincoln as a figure who possessed a rare and unique talent. I feel like it can kind of be a lot of these because the author doesn't say any of these directly. So he could be seen as a folk hero, someone who had a rare, unique talent, not a politician. It doesn't talk about that. I don't think it doesn't believe in instructional value of art, but he did strive to improve his dramatic performances. But I feel like the answer it's looking for is probably A or B. I don't think it's E. I'm ruling out E. It's either A or B, and I don't know which one. Folk hero. Well, I thought of folk hero as meaning like a hero of folk telling. But it could also mean like a hero in folk stories. So I'm going to avoid that possibility and just go B. How many more things do I have to read? 1, 2. Just 2 more. I believe in myself. If I can get another one about American politics, that'd be great. I started watching Heimler's A-Push a little bit ago. He's been making A-Push videos. So if I can just coast on... If we can talk about Native Americans, that'd be great. I know a good chunk about those now. About them. Alright, let's continue. An essay published in the 1920s. I need to read till 9:19. Damn, each thing is taken up exactly a page. That's nice. Okay. Human beings are curious creatures, and nothing more curious than the forms of diversion which they desire for themselves. Some of these are quite comprehensible, and they give physical pleasure. Bathing in the sea, for instance, or watching a play, visiting the zoo, eating agreeable food at someone else's expense, eating at one's own, or playing some game with a ball. It's easy to understand having one person surrounded by water, in which one floats and swims, or watching human life and act. Probably what? It's easy to understand that having one's person surrounded by water, in which one floats and swims, or watching human life enacted, like swimming or being on a stage, or seeing strange moves in a cage, or rolling elegantly with a judge's plate, or chasing under a ball, is pleasing. But besides these simple pleasures, humanity has devised these so-called amusements, which seem to depend on reputations as entertainment, with some pleasing sensations inflicted on the participants, then on some convention which is ordered these pursuits shall be held agreeable. It speaks well perhaps of the kindliness and ability of the human race that most such pursuits are of a gregarious nature. I don't know what gregarious means. Assembling together, dearly we love to do this. Neglect not the assembling of yourself, says, I think, St. Paul, somewhere. Okay, well, that's helpful. What does it want from me? But besides to agreeable. But besides simple humanities for it. What? 19. Oh, I see. Simple pleasures, sensations, afflictive persons, convention. Wait. To seem to depend on the reputation as entertainment, thus on pleasing sensations left on participant, that on some convention that has ordained that these pursuits shall be held agreeable. Yes, I feel like that's what it's saying. Well, it's also kind of B. It's also kind of D. It's kind of saying all of these. I kind of feel like all of these could best describe. Reconnected. It's saying that it's not, people do these. It's not only talking about communal gatherings. People abandon childhood Okay, I think what's happening is there's too many people trying to use the Wi-Fi at once, but my family members I heard are getting off their devices. We should be better now, hopefully. Let's continue, assuming that everything is okay and working properly. The music isn't working right now. I don't know why that's not happening, but you know, we'll work with what we have. Okay, moving on, continuing. 32, lines 23 to 24. Assembling together, dearly we do love to... Oh my god. It speaks well perhaps to the kindness and ability of the human race that most such pursuits are of greatest nature. Assembling together, dearly we love to do this. Neglect not the assembling of yourselves together, says I think John Paul somewhere. Dude, that is the most, like, unconfident sentence maybe ever spoken. Who says I think John Paul somewhere? Like, he might have said this. I don't really know where he said it, but he probably said it. Like, what? Neglect of this will never be numbered among the many omissions of mankind. Well, I don't know what... Yes. A. That's just it. Yo, I don't know why my music is not working. Like, everything has been crashing down over the past, like, 5 seconds. Sorry, 5 minutes. Let me reload the page, see if that helps. There we go. Alright, let's continue. What's my time looking like right now? Oh my god, it's been 50 minutes. That is actually so bad for me. That's like incredibly bad for me. Yikes. Okay. 33. The author's attitude towards St. Paul's admonition. Neglect of this will never be numbered among the many omissions of mankind. Seeking one another, change your remarks. It's so nearly universal a custom that has become dignified into an entertainment, and we issue to one another invitations to attend such gatherings. He agrees. It's not irrelevant or conflicted. It's passionate, I guess. I would say agreeable, but passionate works too. First and second paragraph. The first paragraph is all of this. I need to read the second paragraph now. Dude, the second paragraph is the entire rest of the thing. I'm going to move on to 35. $39 to $40. That I can do. We issue them and accept them, and when the appointed dates arrive, we assume such are clothes as we believe to be suitable for the gathering, and sally forth to the party of pleasure. We wear what we think we should wear. Often, indeed, usually it is in the evening. Really? I guess it's more past noon than before noon, typically. Therefore, we clothe ourselves in the garb of, as men and women have agreed, in their strange symbolism, to consider appropriate in the hours after 8 o'clock or so. And perhaps, who knows, it is the exercise of this savage... Well, actually... 39 to 40. Therefore, we clothe ourselves in the garb... Well, garb, I don't know what that means, but it sounds like garbage, so it can't be a good thing. And there's strange symbolism. Doesn't like strange symbolism, consider appropriate. I wouldn't say strong disgust, but it's not appreciation either. Illustrates the author's... I don't know what personality flaws means. I mean, it's I don't know if ironic is the right word to use. It's like the same vibe as what he's saying. I just don't know if it's... Because it's not strong disgust, but it's also not talking about monetary wealth. I don't know what personality flaws means. I'm going to go D. D feels more right than E to me. 38 to 48. Okay. Therefore, clear ourselves, perhaps who knows if exercise the savage and primitive conventionalism as a large part of the pleasure of an evening gathering consists. We are very primitive creatures, and the mere satisfaction of self-adornment and of assuming for a particular occasion a particular set of clothes may well tickle our sensibilities. I feel about the author's view. Who knows? No, who knows isn't like a bad thing. Particular. I don't say particular that much. They say particular once. I don't know what you're talking about. The opposition between very and mere. Sorry, what? I think it's A. Yo, I don't know how I'm gonna do this exam, bro. Like, on the day that it actually happens. Dude, I hope the AP Lang, the class, is mainly just preparing for stamina of exams. Because I've spent an hour on 37 questions. I'm supposed to be done with all the multiple choice by the top of the hour. And I'm going to take probably another half hour to finish this. Yikes. Which means I'll have half an hour for each essay. Oh my god. Oh boy. Alright, let me turn down my light as well. My light's getting a bit crazy. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's continue. Yo, I'm being called again. Should I answer? Should I pick up? I'll let him figure out I'm on stream. I'll let him figure it out. Okay, lines 48 to 50. As it may be, we arrive at our party dolled up, so to speak, and find ourselves in a crowd of our fellow creatures. Okay, what does that mean? Now we are off, the party of pleasure has begun. We see friends and talk to them. Okay. Dude, I don't like this. Be that as it may, we arrive at our party dolled, so to speak, up and find ourselves in a crowd full of other fellow creatures, all dolled up too. Doesn't talk about conversations. That's true. Doesn't talk about whether it's worthwhile. Doesn't talk about masking. I'm gonna go B. I've noticed that, like, if something feels right, I should probably just go with it because I typically don't like any of the answers. Also, my video has gone way too orange. Give me a second. Watch this. Hello? Whoa, I fixed it. Isn't that crazy? Alright, let's continue. 38. The short sentences in line 50 to 51. Now we are off, the party of pleasure has begun. Highlights. No. No. Yes. D. I'd like a short, easy one. 51 to 57. We see friends and talk to them, but this we could do in the greater comfort of our homes or in theirs. This cannot surely be the promised pleasure. As a matter of fact, if you succeed in getting into a corner with friends and talking, be sure you'll be very soon torn into asunder by an energetic hostess whose motto is keep them moving. It's funny. 79. Oh my god, not 59. Let's keep going. We are introduced to new acquaintances. This may no doubt be very agreeable. They may be persons you're glad to know, but it's doubtful whether your acquaintanceship will prosper very much tonight. It may be well that no topics suitable for discussion will present themselves to either of you in the introduction. I know someone who says they can never think of anything suitable person at a party, except do you like parties? Don't ask someone at a party, do you like parties? And that is too crude, it simply cannot be said. You must think of something more sophisticated to remark. Having thought of it, you must launch into it in a particularly renaissance pitch necessary to carry it above the clamor. For this clamor, which somewhat resembles the shrieking of a jazz band, is essential accompaniment to a party and part of the terrified. That's harsh. I don't agree with that. A conversation will then ensue, and you must carry it on until one or another of you flags or breaks away, or another intervenes between you. These lines primarily examine how. Nope. Yes. No. 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 Yes, it is very superficial. Superficial. Actually, is it? Let me just make sure. No. 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 Yeah, okay. In fact, it specifically mentions the opposite of E. Alright, 40. Which of the following questions does the author attempt to answer in this path? Okay, so I need to read the rest of this now. One way or another, a very great deal is said. Let us hope it's a good thing. It is apparent, however, anymore the mere use of the tongue, quite apart. That's a way to phrase that. It means talking. Oh my god. Quite apart from the word others, gives pleasure to many. If it gives you no pleasure, and further, if you derive anything from listening to the remarks of others, and you no converse, you had better to take a corner, if possible, on a chair as a rare tree. And really listen to the concert, not endeavor. Well, there's no point in being at a party if you're not going to talk to people. As a matter of fact, if thus listened to, the noise of the party will be found a very interesting noise, containing a great variety of different sounds. If you are those who like also to look at the clothes of others, you will, from this point of vantage, have a good view of these. Okay, so if you're a freaking bum and don't talk at parties, then this is what you'll do. Okay, I skipped a couple questions because I didn't read the whole thing yet, so back to 34. The first paragraph is much more like about like deconstructing why we have social gatherings, and then the preparation for it, and then this is what happens when you're actually at a party, like the physical, like what actually happens then. So for 34, first paragraph disparages those who oppose entertainment. Nope. First paragraph argues people rely on their senses. Nope. First paragraph divides forms of entertainment into more categories. Second is sports example. Second category. Yes. No. No. It's C. Yeah. Okay. And then 40 asks, which following questions does the author attempt to answer this question? Why do people attend parties? Yeah, I think I can fairly confidently say it's why do people attend parties. I feel like the questions get much deeper than this question asks. Like, there's so much more that happened, especially in that second paragraph, but all these are pretty superficial, so, you know, whatever. Like, very, like, surface-level questions. In her analysis of parties, the author assumes a persona that is most closely resembled a botanist explaining how an author assumes a persona that most likely resembles... The author's a third person here, for the record. Well, it's a second person, really. The author's a second person. It's talking directly to you. A botanist explaining how a plant adapts to its environment. Kind of. No. Kind of. Also kind of. No. No. It's either A, B, or C. It's not D or E. A botanist explaining how a plant has adapted to its environment. This would be like the human is adapting to what's happening at the party. Describing a particular custom of the tribes. I don't really think it's this. This is more of a sequence of events. I think just because it says sequence of events, but I don't know, because there's no chemical reaction at the ends, like in that analogy. It's A or C, but this is much more like if you get rid of chemical reaction, I like C better, but otherwise I think I might go A. I think sequence of events is doing the heavy lifting here. But it is adapting, really. No, but it says it more as like you will do this. Like it says, like you must launch into it. And like, if it gives you no pleasure, you derive nothing. So I think it's actually, I might still go C. I'm going to hesitantly go C on that one. Alright, chat. We're getting there. We're getting there. Ariel, welcome to stream. I saw you tried calling me twice. It's a Wednesday evening. You know where I am. If you scroll back on the stream, at some point I said, this dude's calling me. I wonder if I should pick up on stream. But then I realized that you might actually be calling me for other reasons that we cannot talk about on stream. Your schedule switched again? Oh, that makes sense, because you had 4 APs. And we only were allowed 3. Wait, send me your schedule. They caught you, yeah. I mean, we kind of assumed that was going to happen. They wouldn't let you get away with 4 APs. Especially, you didn't even ask for the 4th one, right? Like, you didn't rank it. They just kind of gave it to you. I mean, you didn't talk about how you wanted to have it. They took the Han. Cut the music, cut the music. For anyone else watching, Mr. Tahan is an A-push teacher at our school. Genuinely regarded as, like, the best A-push teacher. And Ariel got Mr. Tahan as his teacher. And his schedule switched around, like, 3 times. And each time he still had Tahan. Until now. Wait, that's actually so messed up. Wait, but at some point you had a schedule at some point that they took AP Lang? Why would they do that? Because at some point you had a schedule that was normal. You had 3 APs. You had Mr. Tahan, right? I feel like you had that. There was one point where you had 3 APs and you had Mr. Tahan. And then you went to school on Tuesday and the principal gave you the other schedule that then had 4 APs. Yeah, your programmers are so strange, because, yeah, your OG schedule is fine. Because my schedule, I got 1 schedule, and I've been coasting with that. And I've already been added to Google Classrooms. Like, I'm in my class. I'm in the classes I'm in. I don't know what's happening with you. Wait, so send me your schedule. Like, either on text or on chat. I have to continue this test. I'm already behind schedule. I was supposed to finish the multiple choice 5-6 minutes ago. I still have a whole other thing to read. Really upset with the changes? Well, that makes sense. You got put with like the best teacher possible, and you had Pew with you as well in your class. And now you have neither. I mean, you might. I don't know if Pew's schedule changed, but yikes. Yeah, all right. I gotta continue the test, but text me what your schedule is. I want to know. With that, I'm putting music back on. I'm continuing. Also, it's really confusing. You're supposed to have AP. I feel like any junior is supposed to be able to have AP Lang if they want. Speaking of AP Lang, question 42, and our last thing to read here. Excerpt of recent book. Oh my god, we're back to A-push content. Oh, thank goodness. Stuff that I actually know and not like philosophical thought. Okay, first question. Author's primary purpose in the first lines. When one undertakes to read any text, whether fiction or nonfiction, read the poem, a handful of tried and true questions set one in the right direction. What kind of text have I got in front of me? Who is the audience for the text? And what is the structure of the text? That is, how has the author divided the text into parts? How do these parts help accomplish what the whole has crafted to do? Asking these questions about the declaration will make us better readers of its democratic art. Explains value of an approach. True. no, 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 no. It's A. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. My music is not turning back on. Because I didn't hit play. That's smart. That's pretty smart. Okay. Wait, that was question 44. What's question... Oh, this is a really short thing. Okay, never mind. Okay, well... At least I know that 44 is easy, and I already finished it. What was question 42? The examples inside the dashes 1 to 2, emphasis, whether fiction or non-fiction or even a poem, that it matters no matter what. The broad applicability. Yes. B. I don't even have to read the rest. I just know that's right. Yeah, that is right. I did have to double check. Asking these questions about the Declaration makes us better readers of its democratic art. Can best be understood as yes, no, 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 no. It's A. Yeah. It's just talking about, like, the reason that you should do this is because that's how you should study the Declaration. Ariel has sent me a schedule, I believe. I didn't actually check the text, but I assume he sent me it. Let me see if I have any classes with him. First period, we both have free. No, no, no. No. Oh, they put Spanish Lit back on your thing. Oh, fifth you have free. So every other period you have with my girlfriend. Lunch. Sixth you also have free. Lucky. Except for PE. Oh yeah, they did get rid of your... That's strange. They got rid of your AP Lang. Okay, well, I don't have any class with you still. I mean, we still have first period free, but, you know. That is strange, though. I don't know why they gave you Gov, A Push, and then Span Lit instead of English Lang. But, oh well. Well, good luck getting that sorted. I guess we'll have 10th period free, which is nice. Alright, you, good luck with that. I can call you afterwards, but good luck getting that sorted. I mean, technically your schedule's good, so it might not be changed, but I would say I wouldn't be surprised if it changed again, but also, like, I kind of would be, given that school starts in 12 hours, and in 12 hours they need to have a printed out schedule for you. So, ooh, good luck. Okay. Music cut out again somehow. Okay. Moving on. We had good progress here. This one's easy. I feel so far it's been easy. This is going to be if I need to read the whole thing for. I need to read to 23. I'll start off with the first. What kind of text is the Declaration? Is it a sacred text or a treatise or perhaps a law? This question we rarely ask. In fact, the Declaration is an ordinary memo. As an example, I have in mind a memo I saw recently from the Dean of a Student's Office at the Northeastern College. It announced that going forward, the dining hall would stay open later on weekends, and it offered reasons for that change. The Declaration is the same kind of document, a memo that announces and thereby brings about a change while also explaining it. Low-key tough. I never thought about it that way. I have to compare it to this. I have to read to 36. Okay, so that talks about it being compared to a memo. Short for memorandum, which is Latin for something that has to be remembered. The memo has been a basic tool for human social organization ever since writing has been invented. Although we are using of memos these days mainly as inter-office directives, which is what I think of it as, our view has become restricted. Here's an older and more fundamental meaning. An informal diplomatic message, especially one summarizing the state of a question, justifying a decision, or recommending a course of action. In fact, its oldest usage spawned a formula to launch declarations. It went like this. Memorandum... What? Its oldest usage spawned a formula to launch declarations. It went like this. Memorandum. That is hereby... That it is hereby declared. Okay, sure. So, getting more texts. Not from Ariel. Okay. Alright. 46... The first paragraph is talking specifically about the Declaration. The rest is more of like an open thing. So, no, no, Potentially. No. E. Wait, wasn't B also had a chance? Yeah, it wasn't really that though. Why does my music keep starting off? I keep playing it and then it unplays itself. Yo, it's actually crazy that I'm about to crash out at music. That shouldn't happen. Anyway, continue. 47, an informal of action. Oh, just this part. Define, presents definition, primarily to, nope. Kind of. Yes. Indicate origin. I mean, it's more of widening a perspective. It is the origin of the word, but I feel like it more so in the case of this is widening the perspective for the audience, for the frickin' viewer. Line 34. Oldest you should spawn from a formula. Spawned most merely means generated. So D. Oh, we're getting close. Am I going to finish before an hour and a half remaining? I am. That's actually really unfortunate how long this takes. This year, I'm definitely going to have to spend more time than I expected just working on making sure that this is, you know, that I have stamina for these essays because I'm not doing so hot. Lines 37 and 39. Okay, I should read more then. I'm going to read to 42. As ever speedier modes of duplication and communication have emerged, memos have become the only common important. Those who write the best memos set policies for businesses, cultural organizations, and governments because their impact on our memories or rule. They wield an instrument by which our world is organized. Okay. 37 to 39 says, as ever speedier modes of translation emerge, memos become only more common and more important. Nope. God. Yes. No. No. It's C. Yep. Alright, 50 was also something I already read. Yo, I swear to hell, how does the music keep turning off? This is actually crazy. Okay, whatever. What frickin' ever. Maybe if I just don't care, it'll stop annoying me. Because writers rule. Because their impacts on our memories, writers rule. Sorry, what? The effect of the author's rhetorical choices. Because of their impacts on our memories, writers rule. No. I don't think that's what it means. No. Actually, kind of. Yes. It's like, it's either D or B. No, sorry. D or A. I think it's D, though. D, I wasn't sure about A. I'm going to go D. There's one that I skipped earlier, right? 45. Can I answer that now? Not yet. Okay. All right, 51. It wants me to read to 43. Wait, I already did that. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. They wield the instrument by which our world is organized. The instrument being a memo. The main function is to introduce... Nope. 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 Yes. I like when I get easy questions like that. The shift to the past tense in the sentence in lines 51 and 53. Okay, I'm just gonna read the rest of it now. The Declaration, too, is a very practical document. It claims to know something about how a particular institution of a particular kind, the Kingdom of Great Britain, a free and independent state, should work. It criticizes this institution for failing to work as it should. It announces the separation on account of this failure of the colonies of Britain and the coming into being a new political system, but it also the job of organizing a group to join action, revolt from Britain. What does it take? Actually, I'm gonna stop there. But it from Britain. But it also the job of organizing a group to joint action, revolt from Britain. The shift to past tense occurs because this sentence refers to idea that is no longer current. Yes. But also this. An idea about the Declaration that is no longer current. The role of the Declaration. It is the role of the Declaration at its time. Yeah, I'm going to go with D. I feel like A and D kind of say the same thing, but why do I think D is phrased better? Because it's just relevant to its time. It's not like it's no longer current, but it's still relevant, you know? Like, it's still important. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, 53. I need to read the final bit. What does it take for a group to act in concert? How are decisions made? Who takes responsibility for them? What makes it possible for a group, organization, or institution to collaborate over time? When do they run into trouble? Why? We all know things about how an institution should work. By trying to answer questions like these in relation to our own lives, we build a context for thinking about the Declaration. I'm going to go back to 45 real quick, now I finished everything. The first paragraph differs from the final paragraph in that the first paragraph talks about how you should think about memos, or any type of document, any type of writing, and then it ties in the Declaration at the end. This one asks questions about how things happen in the real world. So this is asking questions about the text. This is asking questions about real world implications. So, no, yes. I feel like both are meant to be answered, right? Yeah. It's like it's rhetorical for the sake of this writing, but not in real, it's meant to be practical. So, yes, I'm going to go C on this one. Alright, back to 53. In the final paragraph, the author suggests the reader should do which of the following? No. No. Yes. Well, no, not particular. Kind of. No. No. So, no, potentially. No and no? I think it has to be C. I don't like C as an answer, but it makes sense, and the other ones don't make sense for this context. Passage as a whole. The democratic art of the Declaration mentioned in line 10 refers to the Declaration's ability to do all except the following. It does critique an institution. It does announce a change. It explains the nature of the change. It enforces a proposed change. Well, it doesn't enforce a proposed change, because it is the proposed change, and enforcing it is done not on paper, but in real life. So I'm going to go D, just based on the fact that, because it explains, that's the difference here. It explains the nature of the change, but actually enforcing it is not something that words can do. It's something that militaries do in the Revolutionary War. Okay, let's continue. Last question. Based on the passage as a whole, it can be inferred that the author will most likely continue with the discussion that includes which the following? Analysis. Potentially. Wait, what is this document even? A passage expert of a recent book just about the Declaration. Okay, sure. It could be this. Not really. I think we already talked that it's not either. This is about the Declaration of Independence, by the way, so it should say on topic. So it's not going to be this. It's not gonna be this. Sorry, it's not gonna be this. It's not gonna be this. This feels kind of random. And this is also not related. So I'm gonna go A. Alright, chat. With that, we have finally finished the multiple choice. Oh my god. That took forever. Oh my god, the multiple choice for the history was 1,000,000 times easier. Oh my god. Okay. With that out of the way, it is time to move on to the next part, which worries me even more because I've already spent so much energy on this, and now I have to write essays. Okay. Free response. Here we go. Okay. This is all information for the actual test. Suggested time 40 minutes per question, which means in total it would take an hour and 40 minutes. And I have a little bit less than that. And it says overall suggested time is 2 hours. So, you know. Okay. Here we go. Suggested time is 55 minutes. I need to go a little quicker than that. It's suggested that you spend 15 minutes reading the question and 40 minutes writing your response. Okay. This question counts for 1/3 of the essay score. Great. Okay. Essay 1. Let's read what I have to do. In the United States, kindergarten... Let me actually turn off the music so I can focus on understanding what I have to write. In the United States, kindergarten has generally been considered an educational setting that provides opportunities for children to ready themselves for the academic and social worlds of formal education. However, the 21st century drive towards increased academic standards have been felt even in the earliest grades, leading some researchers to express concern that kindergarten experience is being compromised. Carefully read the following 6 sources. Oh, it's a DBQ. Oh. Carefully read the following 6 sources, including the introductory information for each source, and consider the implication of transforming kindergarten into a more academic environment than it has been in the past. Then synthesize materials from at least 3 kinds of sources and incorporate into a coherent, well-written argument in which you will take a position on what kindergarten should be. Your argument should be the focus of the essay. Use the sources to develop your argument and explain the reasoning for it. Avoid merely summarizing the sources. Indicate clearly which sources you are drawing from, whether through direct quotation, paraphrase, or summary. You may cite the sources as source A, source B, etc., or by using the description in parentheses. Okay. How long is it supposed to be? That it did not tell me. Do you think it's cheating to right now go search up how long each essay should be? Oh, I'm still huge. My bad. I think I should search it up. Let me, I feel like it's fair, and I'm going to do it, actually. And actually I don't care what you say. How long should an AP Lang essay be? 500 to 800 words. That's a lot. And then Reddit says 1,000 words. This one says 300 to 500. $1,800 words. This cannot be talking about the AP Lang exam. Okay, I'm getting the general sense that 500 is a good benchmark. But different people will tell me different things. Okay. Oh man, I'm so tired as well. Oh my god. Whew. Okay. Let's frickin' write 3 essays. Let's turn the music back. I'm gonna go through and read these sources and categorize them as like pro or anti, making kindergarten more academically rigorous. Oh, these courses are a page long each. Oh, yikes. Okay, familyeducation.com. Simple 5 grades. Kindergarten ain't what it used to be. Okay, sure, straying from its roots. Beginning to hear about kindergartners who are defiant in various abilities or slow learners, when in fact they may be well within the appropriate developmental stage. Parents who do not want to see their children unfairly labeled may now want their kids waiting until 6 to enroll into kindergarten. This person believes these parents are acting in the best interest of their children, but she says that this practice is changing the balance of many kindergarten programs and actually perpetuating them towards academics. In regard to the trickle down first grade is a really funny way to phrase it. Who needs trickle down economics when you have trickle down first grade? I'm gonna start saying that in the real world. I'm gonna go to all my teachers tomorrow and say, this isn't junior year. This is trickle down senior year. National Association for Education of Young Children holds this common sense position. The pressure should not be on the children. Kindergarten and first grade programs should be ready to meet the developmental diverse needs of children. Okay, I'm gonna go with it's pretty anti. It is fairly anti, I would say. But to be fair, it stays very much in the realm of like unbiased reporting. It barely is anti. The following passage is an excerpt from the article published on the news website of the University of Virginia. Okay. In a working paper titled Kindergarten the New First Grade, is kindergarten trickle down first grade. The changing nature of kindergarten, the age of accountability. Researchers emphasize accountability, meaningful change experience. Less than a decade, we've seen kindergarten experience essentially transformed. Academic skill-based has really taken center stage in today's kindergarten classrooms, which wasn't the case before the late 90s. A study by UVA's Welland Cooper Center uses 2 large nationally representative data sets to track changes in kindergarten classrooms in 1998 and 2006. It shows in 1998. Oh, this was released in 2014. It's kind of old. Okay. This test, by the way, I'm fairly certain is a 2017 test. I think it's the newest one I could find online. It shows that in 1998, or it's either 2017 or 2022. I can't remember. This exam, I mean, specifically. But this from 2014. 1998, 31% of kindergartners indicated that most children should be learning to read while in kindergarten. By 2006, it was 65%. Classroom time spent on literacy rose 25%, from roughly 5.5 to 7. That's crazy. Bassick said that done correctly, this increased focus on academics could be helpful. Oh. Young children are curious, enthusiastic learners, and immense potential. There are ways to teach early literacy and math content to young children, so it's engaging, get some head start. But the increased emphasis on literacy may have a cost. You spend more time on academic content, time centered on play, inspiration may drop. It doesn't certainly have to be an either-or scenario where academic crowds everything out, but I worry that in practice that is what may be happening. Idyllic Pro. Realistic anti is what I'm getting from this. The guy's like, in a perfect world I would like this, but it's not happening the way I imagine, I guess, is a way that you could look at that. And that's the way that I will look at that. Alright. Document 3, sorry. Okay. This is a longer one. This is from Trinity College. Following expert is a research paper written by a college student and posted to an education courses website. This parenthetical citations refer to academic courses used by the writer. Okay. From having a simple curriculum, kindergarten has changed to a complex curriculum with standards that need to be met. While only 50% of kindergartners were reading a decade ago, today 90% of kindergartners pass an end-of-year reading test. Oh, damn. It's kind of a lot. The measures have dramatically changed. Kindergartners must be able to do things such as count to 100. You should be able to count to 100 by the time you're like... You finish kindergarten when you're 6, right? Yeah, I feel like I could have counted to 100 by the time I was... I mean, I also was in kindergarten in 2012. So that's... Yeah, you know what? Never mind. I am part of the group. I am part of the group they're talking about. Match all consonant and short vowel sounds to appropriate letters and use concrete objects to determine the answers to subtraction. In places like California, kindergartners are expected to master 195 skills before first grade. In other states are following the same trend. Kindergarten is seen as the new first grade. You mean trickle down first grade, because many standards have moved from first grade into kindergarten. But how is this beneficial? Some people's opinions, having kindergarten be work focused helps them get later ahead, able to read, take tests, crucial math and literacy tests. Whereas some argue that kindergartners aren't ready for these pressure of academics. Others argue they are. Well, some people... They keep changing what people argue for every, like, half sentence. Like, can we stick to one argument for a few sentences at a time, please? While people argue between a play-focused and work-focused kindergarten, it nonetheless has changed as a result of the emphasis of education and the state of the economy in our world. More families have both parents work, which has caused preschoolers to become more common and chosen choice of childcare. As the number of children in preschools has increased, children are being exposed to skills they would have typically learned in a traditional model of kindergarten, such as learning how to use a scissor and write. Preschoolers are even learning how to write their alphabet and how to read, therefore making it unnecessary for kindergarten to remain play-focused. Oh, I guess I didn't really consider preschool. I feel like I learned how to read in preschool. Because I remember... In my preschool, at least, I always made the schedule for the day. Like, they gave me a piece of paper that says the schedule, and I always wrote it big on the whiteboard. So, I knew how to write in preschool. I feel like writing is not that difficult. I don't know. I might be crazy here, but who knows. Alright, continuing on. A number of children preschoolers are even learning how to write. By putting their children in preschools, parents are helping their children's academic future. It's been reported that children who attend quality preschoolers score higher on kindergarten reading screen tests. School performances continue to remain higher for students who attended preschool. School is the way to success in our economy. Therefore, by starting academics earlier, children are getting ahead. Preschool has created this push for academics to start in kindergarten. Preschool equals trickle down first grade is what that's saying. Ooh, a graph. Wait, I love a good graph. This following is from a United States-based nonprofit research center that provides information on the well-being of children and youth. 2007 statistics are not included for the reads or pretend to read skill. What does pretend to read mean? Okay. It looks like overall we see an increase. 21, 24, 32, 52. Really? I feel like by kindergarten... Oh, ages 3 to 6. Never mind. Okay. I was about to say, by 6 years old, you should be able to count past 20. But 3 makes sense. Write names. Okay. And then reads or pretends to read. Kids getting smarter. Graph. Alright, well, that's just data that says that it's smarter. They get smarter. How many documents are there again? This is a picture. That's already question 2, so only 2 more. Okay. Alright. This following source is an excerpt of the online article from a website of a company that publishes and distributes children's books. I wonder what a company that sells children's books would think about kindergartners learning to read faster. 20% of children in the United States going to have the global economy need to upgrade our public school. The only should be ensuring every kid receives an education the most way possible. Too often, however, our culture of fast food, media sound bites, instant downloads. When was this released? Doesn't say. 2015. Too often, however, fast food, media bite, instant downloads, we mistake for better. The assumption that has led our count in the school district perhaps even your own to promote academic kindergartens where 5-year-olds are more likely to encounter skill and drill exercises and nightly homework than unstructured imaginative playtime. With so much pressure to teach essential literacy and math skills, many kindergarten teachers, even pre-kindergarten teachers, through that time, free play and exploration is increasingly limited. Is this an anti... Oh, this is Scholastic. Oh, Scholastic. I know Scholastic. Research consistently backs what early elementary schoolers know. Imaginative play is a catalyst for social, physical, emotional, and moral development of young children. With guidance from an observant teacher, kindergarten includes imaginative play to make sense of the world around them, and lay a critical groundwork for understanding the words and numbers. Play facilitates growth of children. Children's questions are a form of mastery play. In asking questions, children creating their own learning experiences. A professor of education in the University of U Delaware authored numerous books, including Play Equals Learning and Einstein Never Used Flashcards. She argues that play is a primary vehicle for kids to explore the world. But playtime also allows children the opportunity to rough and tumble with other kids. 2003, children under 6 spend as much time on television, computers, and video games as playing outside. That's almost certainly gone down. I doubt it's the same amount as time. At school and at home, children have less time for unstructured play. Children used to be entertained by media, but relying on television, movies, and video games, children are pulled away from real imaginative play. Play has been phased out from kindergarten classrooms. Okay, this is crazy because it's anti from Scholastic. That actually might be the reason I write an anti-article. I think I'm going to write anti just because I can say, like, yo, Scholastic would benefit from saying it's good that people know how to read fast sooner. And even they're saying it's bad. And they're citing sources from U Delaware. I might go anti on this. I think I'm going to be anti. All right, let's see this. They had a picture I wanted to look at for here. Following image from an online news source. This is just a picture of a student on an iPad. Raising the bar in kindergarten. This picture is unequivocally useless. What am I supposed to take away from this picture? It's a kid on an iPad. It doesn't even say what they're doing on the iPad. Are they watching TV? Are they learning? Okay. Well, that was useless. Useless? Okay, so I'm gonna go anti on this. So I need arguments. What is the prompt again? What does it want me to do? Your argument should be focused on the essay, use sources, developing your argument, and explain your reasoning for it. Avoid merely summarizing. Indicate which sources you're using from. I need at least 3, right? It said at least 3. Did I say that anywhere? I definitely said that at some point. Yeah, synthesize material from at least 3 sources and incorporate it into a coherent, relevant argument. Okay, so I'm going anti. I'm saying that kindergarten should be about the play and the fun of it all. Okay. So I think I'm gonna have 3. Okay, how much time? The music keeps turning off and it's annoying me so badly. I have 19 minutes to write this in the time frame that I realistically have here, which is not great because I was supposed to have 40, but you know. I think first argument. So here are potential arguments. Potential arguments: later start to school. People who like it disagree with realistic outlook. What was that one about preschool equals first grade? That's kind of tied into this. Kids getting smarter graph is not going to help me. And then anti from Scholastic. Even Scholastic doesn't like it. So I'm doing logic. I'm doing appeal to authority, and I'm doing appeal to opposition, and appeal to people who have conflicts of interest. I think that should be fine. Yeah. Wow, high-key have to go to the bathroom as well, though. Wait. I need to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna be back in 3 minutes. Hold up. BRB going to bathroom. Will be back by 8:05 p.m. ET. Make it black just so you can actually see what I just said. My bad, gang. I will be back. I will be back before you even know it. Alright, I'll be back. Bye. Here's some fun music while you wait. Guess who's back? Did the music actually stop playing? Oh. Technically, there's been an ad playing, but like the ad is still music. I checked YouTube real quick while I was in the bathroom. Turns out Heimler freaking posted in the time that I've been live, so that's cool. Okay, back to this. I really don't want to do this. Okay. That's kind of it, right? It's kind of just these three things. So, I'm going to work with this. Yeah. I'm going to start with this. I'm going to put this on a little bit smaller text. Can stream still see this? Oh, you can definitely still see that. I can make it smaller even. You guys okay with an 18? Yeah, you're fine with an 18. I'm gonna write an 18 just so it fits better on the page. Okay, so we need to start off with a intro because all of these need to start off with an intro. So I need a thesis. But I need context for the thesis. So, okay. Who am I writing this to? Just in general? An argument? Okay. Over the past few decades, more and more garden classrooms have become focused on academics over learning by play. This trickle down first grade method, as some are calling it. Dude, I love calling it that. Trickle down first grade is so funny. Also, I need the music back. You're right. Okay, trickle down first grade method, as some are calling it. While improving standardized test scores for 6-year-olds, has raised concerns from all sides, from virtually all aspects of the kindergarten. I don't want to say kindergarten economy, but what's a better way? Like kindergarten apparatus? Apparatus. Is that how you spell that word? No, it's not. Oh, it was close. Only 2 P's. Surprised I got that. Now I need my thesis. My thesis is that... How much time do I have? Yikes. Really yikes. Trickle down first grade method, as some are calling it, while improving standardized test scores for 6-year-olds has raised concerns from virtually all aspects of the kindergarten apparatus. Kindergarten is best served, or is best kindergarten provides the... I feel like I need another sentence before I transition to the... I'm going to write my thesis and then I'll figure out a better transition. And also, I swear to God, can the music for 1 second please just play in a row? Between song and song without you having to click every 5 seconds? Kindergarten provides a better growth and environment for for kindergartners when when using a learn by playing method strategy over strictly lots of strictly academic over a strictly academic structure due to its accessibility to younger potential students. I actually don't like the other two things I've come up with. Younger potential students. I'm just going to do two things, and I'll incorporate Scholastic somewhere else. And how, and, kindergartners, when using the learn to play strategy for structure, due to accessibility to younger potential students, and, how do I phrase it? I hate phrasing things. I wish I could just get my idea down and it would just make sense, but unfortunately that's not how brains work. Younger potential student, due to accessibility to younger potential students, and I'm tripping so hard right now. Younger potential students, and how a kindergarten classroom realistically functions. Sure. I need a better way to switch between this and this. Virtually all aspects of the apparatus. Despite a sped up academic process. Yeah. Oh yeah. Are we supposed to have are we supposed to have a counter argument? Because I could make despite a sped up academic process into a counter argument. But I also don't think I have time. Like, look at the time. I only have an hour left to write this and two others. Yikes. I actually might just run out of time. Which would be crazy. But, you know. I'm also hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet. Also, the sun is now... I can show the window because there's no more... Sun is fully gone. Which means the day's ending, and the next time the sun rises will be a school day. Ugh, I need to work. I keep thinking about school tomorrow. Okay. Alright. Let's get into it. I'm just gonna do two. I'm not gonna do a third one. Younger potential students, which is the first one, I'm pretty sure. And the second one. No, the second one is the second thing. Was the Scholastic one more fit into my first argument or my second argument? No, it's definitely more in the first argument. Okay. Firstly, a strictly academic structure does not inherently mean that students will learn in a more productive manner. Those who disagree may point to studies that have shown an increase in letter recognition. Oh my god, I can't do English. Count higher, counting numbers, and reading. Source D. However, what these studies fail to include in their perspective is a wider look at how children at the young ages of 4 to 6 actually learn. According to a what is this? According to an online parenting informational resource, parents who are afraid that their child may not meet the new standards of kindergarten might hold their child back a year longer, just for them to not be classified as slow learners or deficient. This unnecessary worry brought upon parents. What is the end of my sentence here? For parents, leads to kindergartens across the nation not having to worry as much about the needs of all students, even those who may be considered behind the abilities of most. Dude, if there was no autocorrect, I would fail this exam immediately. I'm entering a flow state. I'm actually freaking cracked at writing essays. When parents wait until their child feels prepared for an academic experience for kindergarten, it only perpetuates a cycle of close-minded thinking by the schools and lack of help for those who need it. The first year a child spends in a school building is one of the most important to not become how do I phrase it? is one of the most important to not become behind or disenfranchised by the system simply because they could have been supported by alternative learning methods that are becoming less and less available. Furthermore, it is not just the parents' worry. Even corporations such as Scholastic, which benefit from an academically rigorous kindergarten by being able to sell more books, also released a learn by playing, what's it called? Was it a letter? What was it? What theme was it? E. Also, I need to source A. It was an online article. Well, I should probably not. That wouldn't go here, actually. I've realized. It would go here. How much time do I have? Ooh, it's taking longer than I thought. Also, they mention how questions guided by children rather than curriculums allow for curiosity to grow, to flourish. Curriculums allow for curiosity to flourish and the learning experience to feel more fun and interactive. It would also allow for kids to explore what feels most interesting to them, making for a more engaging time. More engaging time. And then this is source E. This letter of regret towards an academically inclined kindergarten by a company that seeks profit through that very structure only shows how do I want to phrase this? I want to appeal to authority while still sounding like I have more to my claim than just, hey, look, Scholastic said it too. Letter of regret towards an academically inclined kindergarten by a company that seeks profit through that very structure only shows how everyone intrinsically understands how important play is to children, not only for their physical and mental well-being, but also for but also important to their learning. I've already used 3 sources. I've used D, A, and E, but I'm now also going to use B in one final paragraph. Then I have to move on, because technically I should be finishing up my second essay, and I'm finishing up my first, because the multiple choice took frickin' forever. Okay. Here we go. Finally, even those who, on an idealistic basis, would support an academic kindergarten, see the flaws in the current system that most school districts are heading towards. Is this what I wanted to talk about? How a kindergarten classroom realistically functions. Yeah. Research. UVA. No, it's not. I don't want it to be a link. Does that link lead you to University of Virginia? Where is it? I actually hope I don't get scammed right now. Oh, it's not even a real thing. Okay, well then why did it give me the option to link it? No, I don't want it to be linked. I want it to unlink it. Yeah. UVA researcher. What's his full name? Doesn't say. Daphna. Daphna Vosok did a study on how between 1998 and 2006 kindergarteners reading comprehension spiked 34%, most likely caused by a 25% increase on time in the classroom spent on literacy. While this number on paper, I'm not going to say while, I'm going to split it up into 2 sentences. This statistic on paper sounds great. More students learning how to read at a faster rate. But even Vosok mentioned some of the issues with the time allotted to academic time versus play time, stating what did she say? Vosok said done correctly. Stating that in practice, schools are giving kindergartens increasingly more time for academics, crowding out any students-led learning or social growth that would have happened previously. Then I'm gonna drop a banger here. Watch me cook. At the end of the day, while seeing stats grow for student learning can feel like an achievement, it's always important to look at what is being sacrificed. Everything needs a balance. Everything needs a balance. But the direction kindergartens are heading in is tipping the scale to a point, the point that children are losing out on key play time as well as social emotional time with other children that is necessary to have proper growth in all aspects, not just academically. I think I'm going to leave it there. It's not my best work even a little bit, but it's what I have for the time that I have. Yo, I really hope that the other two essays are like light, or else I'm cooked. Like, no doubt about it, COOKED, cooked. Alright, that's what I have. An intro, first body, second body, and then third body, which kind of has a conclusion in there. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. Wait, this is end of exam. Oh, what the hell? Wait, I thought there were going to be 3. Wait, this counts for a third of the total essay score. Oh, that's question 3. Those are different things. So notice how both of them say suggested time 40 minutes and how there's only 40 minutes left on my timer. So that's not great, I would say. Technically, for the record, I should have an hour on that clock because earlier today I was like, it'll be fine. 3 hours versus 3 hours 15 can't be that much of a difference. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Yeah, it can. So I'm going to go... Wait, let me actually read both of them. See, like, how long these actually take. In August 1975, environmental historian William Cronin published an essay in the New York Times in which he argued for the need to rethink the idea of wilderness in modern culture. Carefully read the following excerpt from Cronin's essay, then write a well-developed essay in which you analyze the choice Cronin made to challenge our habitual ways. Okay, this is going to have to be like a 2-paragraph essay. Because also I feel like at the end of the day, it's analyzing. Like, it shouldn't be that... Like, it shouldn't go that deep. This one, in a book published in 1999, psychologist Richard de Grandper asserts, when we ruminate about and plan things to come, when we study and work towards some anticipated eventuality, when we imagine and harbor certain expectations about what the future could, should, or will be, what we're often doing, albeit unintentionally, is redirecting our consciousness away from the present and into the future. When we do this, there's a tendency, again unintentional, of undervaluing our sense of the present. Damn. How does thinking about the future affect one's ability to experience and appreciate the present? Read well, would an essay develop a position on the extent to which anticipating and planning for the future affects our capacity to, as De Grand Prix puts earlier in his chapter, appreciate the moment and ultimately life as a whole. Use appropriate evidence to illustrate and develop your position. This one I feel like I can sort of write from the heart, and this one I feel like I can make short. So hopefully I can finish that all in 42 minutes. Alright, let's do it. Alright, essay number 2. Let's actually read this out. Am I reading this out loud? I guess I have to. Take a swig of water. Oh, it's pitch black outside now. It's not even that late. It's 8:34. I guess that is kind of late. Oh, you're right. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Whew. Okay. Thus it is that wilderness serves as an unexamined foundation on which so many of the quasi-religions values of modern environmentalism rest. Their critique of modernity is that one of the environmentalism's most important contributions to the moral and political discourse of our time more often than not appeals explicitly or implicitly to wilderness as the standard against which to measure the failings of our human world. I agree. Wilderness is the nature, unfallen antithesis of an unnatural civilization. Wilderness is the natural, unfallen antithesis of the unnatural civilization that has lost its soul. It is a place of freedom in which we can recover our true selves that we have lost to the corrupting influences of our artificial lives. Most of all, it is the ultimate landscape of authenticity, combing the sacred grandeur of the sublime with the primitive simplicity of the frontier. It is a place that we can see the world as it really is, and so know ourselves that we really are or ought to be. So that's what he's saying that people think. But the trouble with wilderness is that it quietly expresses and reproduces the very values its devotees seek to reject. The flight from history that is very nearly to the core of the wilderness represents the false hope from an escape from reality, the illusion that we can somehow wipe clean the slate of our past and return to a blank slate used especially to refer to a mind not yet affected by experiences or impressions. Got it. A tabula rasa, is what that means, that supposedly exited before we began to leave our marks in the world. The dream of an unworked natural landscape is very much the fantasy of people who have never themselves had to work the land to make a living. Urban folk whom food comes from a supermarket or a restaurant instead of a field, for whom the wooden houses in which they live and work apparently have no meaningful connection to the forest in which the trees grow and die. Only people whose relation to the land was already alienated could hold up wilderness as a model for human life in nature, for the romantic ideology of wilderness leaves precisely nowhere for the human beings to actually make their living from the land. I mean, like, I agree with the general idea, but I think he's being way, way, way too harsh to people who, like, never lived on, like, a field. Like, you know? Like, it's not their fault. Like, me too. I've only ever lived in big cities, you know? Continuing. This, then, is a central paradox. Wilderness embodies a dualistic vision in which the human is entirely outside the natural. If we allow ourselves to believe that nature, to be true, must also be wild, then our very presence in nature represents its fall. The place where we are is the place where nature is not. So this, if so, is by definition, wilderness leaves no place for human beings, save perhaps as contemplative sojourners enjoying their leisurely riviere in God's natural cathedral. Then also by definition, it can offer no solution to the environmental and other problems that confront us. I completely disagree. It's not what I don't think anyone is saying that nature needs to have no humans. To the extent that we celebrate wilderness as a measure with which we judge civilization, we reproduce the dualism that sets humanity and nature at opposite poles. We thereby leave ourselves little hope of discovering what an ethical, sustainable, honorable human place in nature might actually look like. I think he's wrong. I think he's way overemphasizing, like, that humans are anti-natural. Like, worse, to the extent that we live in an urban industrial civilization, but at the same time pretend to ourselves that our real home is in the wilderness, to just that extent we give ourselves permission to evade responsibility for the lives we actually lead. We inhabit civilization while holding some of our parts ourselves. What we imagine to be the precious parts, aloof from its entanglements. We work our 9-to-5 jobs in its institutions, we eat its food, we drive its cars, at least not to reach the wilderness, We benefit from the intricate and all too invisible networks by which it shelters us, all the while pretending that these things are not essential part of who we are. By imagining that our true home is the wilderness, we forgive ourselves the home we actually inhabit. It is the flight from history, it is the siren's song of escape, it is a reproduction of the dangerous dualism that sets human beings outside of nature. In all the ways, wilderness poses a serious threat to responsible environmentalism at the end of the 20th century. Okay. I disagree with most of this. Like, I don't... Like, he started off strong, and then all the rest was, like, such a slippery slope of, like, assuming what the majority of people think. Like, we have such a different understanding of what we think the majority of people understand the wilderness and, like, urban sprawl to be. Like, I don't even know how to analyze this, just we think differently about what people think. You know? So, I mean, I guess what do I even write about? Like, what's the prompt? A well-developed essay in which you analyze the choices Cronin makes to challenge our habitual ways. Okay. William Cronin. I agree with this first paragraph. What was this first paragraph again? Yes. Sets a stage where I don't know the structure for this because it's not an argumentative essay, so I guess I'll just kind of yap. I'll yap with my insights, I guess. Sets a stage where the vast majority of citizens living in an urban sprawl believe that the wilderness is the closest thing on Earth to a natural society, and that anything built by humans that no longer resembles what the view of a forest looks like would be considered unnatural. The whole article, the whole essay, is backed by this claim of what people think and how Cronin disagrees with it. However, you shouldn't say I believe in an essay. However, this is all said with no backing to the claim. The essay goes on to ramble about the ramifications of this train of thought, leading to an overall slippery slope argument. I'm only going to give myself until the 20-minute mark. 20 20 to 25. So I feel like the next one will take longer. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to talk about this because I just completely disagree. I feel like to be able to give an analysis of this, you have to agree with the first 2 paragraphs. And I don't. The one argument that does have a cohesiveness to it is the paradox. Well, is the point regarding how humans attempt to set apart the wilderness from modern history and presume it to be a return to tabula rasa, meaning a clean slate. All over social media, there are influencers and hikers who regularly use this same language of returning to an untouched nature. See, like, I'm finding myself spending a lot of time yapping about the one part that I agree with. Because, like, how am I supposed to deconstruct these entire 2 paragraphs if all I can say is, no, you're wrong? Like people don't think this. So I guess I'll just yap about this section, and then I can continue talking about how I don't think, how, like, I can spend another paragraph talking about this slippery slope argument that, like, starts off with this one line about, where is it? Yeah, it starts off with this paradox where he says, like, wilderness embodies a dualistic version in which the human is entirely outside the natural. But people, that's not, I don't think that most people think that. And so all of this from there is just like, well, that's not what most people think. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. All of social media, they're influencers and hikers who regularly use the same language of returning to an untouched nature. As Cronin, is that how you spell his name? Cronin. Points out. Oh, Budget Bros, welcome to the stream. I feel like an Unk making this essay. I feel like I'm, like, purposefully using extra words that are, like, way too, like, out of my league just so I can fit in with all the other Unks that wrote all of these. Like, untouched nature? I wouldn't say this. As Cronin points out, every part of points out as every environmentalist would agree, very few corners of the earth are genuinely untouched by what humans have done the planet in the last few millennia and centuries. From climate change, from agriculture to climate change, the landscape of most places that would be considered the wilderness, the natural wilderness, are still shaped by the farming techniques and carbon emissions that have spread across the globe. What does it want me to do again? Analyze the choices. This was a good choice by the author to point out, as the wilderness really isn't the untouched sacred land that many seem to think of it as. And then now I get into the slippery slope part. However, the line about the central paradox leads to a slippery slope argument that isn't recovered from for the rest of the essay. My music turned off again. I'm actually so hungry as well. I just felt myself get hungrier. I forgot what I was gonna say. He starts out. Is it she or is it he? He starts off by saying that humans think of themselves as entirely out of the natural. However, this argument leaves out that most religions believe that God gave man the tools to build a society, meaning that what we have created today would still be in the realm of nature, and what would deviate from that is what is a departure from the central scripture of whichever religion you are referencing. Aside from religion, all society is still built off of the natural resources of the land. Humans didn't build large cities from extraterrestrial what do I even phrase it as? I don't want to say resources. I want another word for resources. Humans didn't build large cities from extraterrestrial pieces, but simply what was around and harvested on this very planet. This misunderstanding leads to Cronin mentioning all sorts of consequences of his made-up thought process, such as, what else does he say here? Such as separating ourselves from greedy companies, 9 to 5, environmentally harmful transportation, what's one more thing? And all these invisible networks, such as the economy or social class, while he is correct in mentioning that a separation of one's self from these systems that uplift modern society, a separation, mentioning that a separation from society would lead to only more ignorance and more hurt for the planet that allowed this to happen. Or God. He does mention God. What's to happen? It is untrue that most people do separate themselves from it all. In fact, as we become more aware of the reality we live in, we are able to do a better job at making a more sustainable civilization that can continue both the human race and planet Earth as a whole. Again, I don't really know how I'm supposed to start or end these kinds of essays, so I think I can just leave it off there. How many paragraphs was that? Did I make paragraphs or did I just ramble? Yeah, I had a paragraph. 2 paragraphs in there. 3. Oh, okay. I didn't realize I had 3. I thought I had 2. Okay, with that, I have 20 minutes remaining to do one more chopped essay. I'm like semi-proud of my first one because it does feel like I actually knew what I was doing. This one felt a whole lot more like I've never written a non-argumentative essay, so I kind of just rambled. But, you know. Alright. With 20 minutes remaining, let's see what the third one has for me. Why did Budget Bros redact their message? The thing is, when you send a message, I see it on my streaming program, not on YouTube.com. So anything that you redact, I still see. So I don't know if you like sent it and redacted it immediately, thinking I wouldn't see it, but it's there. I can't change scenes because then it would break the timer, but I still see it on my screen. It says Budget Bros Unk. All right. I'm yapping, and I have 18 minutes, so let's freaking get back to it. Oh, this was the philosophical one. Okay, I can ramble about this. Here we go. When we ruminate about and plan things to come, when we study and work towards some anticipated eventuality, and when we imagine and harbor certain expectations about what the future could, should, or will be like, we are often doing, albeit unintentionally, what we are often doing, albeit intentionally, is redirecting our consciousness away from the present and into the future. When we do this, there's a tendency, again unintentional, of undervaluing our sense of the present. So the prompt is, how do you think How does thinking about the future affect one's ability to experience and appreciate the present? In a well-written essay, develop a position on the extent to which, and so here's the prompt, develop a position on the extent to which anticipating and planning for the future affects our capacity to, as Dig Grandarby puts it earlier in the same chapter, appreciate the moment and ultimately life as a whole. Use appropriate specific evidence to illustrate and develop your position. Okay. Okay. I need a position. Well, my position is pretty obviously that anticipating for the future does affect our capacity. Okay. So I'm just gonna start with a thesis. And I might add context beforehand, but for now just the thesis, which my thesis would be anticipating for the future, while in some cases necessary. I'm going to start off with, while in some cases necessary, anticipating and planning for the future, overall detriments. Please tell me it'll correct itself. Not determinates. It's like detriments. Overall, hurts, I guess I'll say. Hurts our capacity to appreciate the moment and live life. Live life to its fullest. I don't know how to write this essay. I feel like that's something like I feel like I would be able to do it if I just knew. The thing is, like, I don't know, like, what the structure of this is supposed to be. Because the prompt itself is very vague. The prompt itself is just, like, develop a position, and then it gives me a thought. So, because it's not really argumentative. It's more like explain your position. Right? Dino Man, welcome to stream. I had my first AP Lit prose essay, and I made a 4 out of 6. I had another one tomorrow. I do not know what a prose essay is. All I know is that AP Lit is a class that I do not plan on taking, because in all honesty, it looks difficult. So good luck with that. Have you taken AP Lang then? Because ambulance, I don't know if you heard that. I wonder if you took AP Lang, because typically, at least at my school, everyone who takes AP Lit took AP Lang the year before. Well, technically it's not a requirement, but it is the standard. Like, typically people do that. And if you have taken AP Lang, please help me. Now would be the time, given that I have 15 minutes left to write this gosh darn essay. Alright, I gotta get started. I have 15 minutes. So here's my thesis. I'm gonna start with a little. Often. Oh my god. Often, life requires us to plan ahead, whether that be making your calendar available for a wedding happening in a year's time, or setting your alarm clock for when you will awake tomorrow. Thinking ahead is part of what makes us special. It is what makes us able to fulfill ambitious hopes and dreams that take many years, many months or years to complete. I probably should have looked at the rubric before I did this essay. On the other hand, we're constantly told to live in the moment. Why take out your phone to take a picture of the sunset when you can soak in more of the moment by just enjoying it for what it is? No. Why spend time pondering about what has been or will be when all you know and can affect is the now, is the present? These two ideals constantly clash in the day-to-day life. What's the prompt again? The extent to which anticipating for the planet affects our capacity to appreciate the moment. Yeah. Constantly clash. One tends to override the other in a manner that stops someone from living out life to the fullest. So I have to change this then. I'm just gonna say it the same way they did in the prompt. Alright, this is my intro. Low-key, I don't know what I'm supposed to write, but based on nothing and just my thoughts, fire intro. Dynaman, no, I skipped Lang, typically how it works in my school. Well, I don't know, it's called the essays on prose. So I'm calling it the prose essay. I don't know what prose is, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was under the impression that it was a, what's it called? I'm so cooked right now in my mind. What was it? I was assuming that prose was an acronym for something. But interesting. Yeah, I went to 2 high schools because I used to live in California for freshman year. And even then, I mean, we didn't have AP Lit, but you were supposed to take Lang before you take other, like, English-adjacent APs. So it's interesting. I don't know what help with a philosophical essay. Is that what you're doing? Yeah, the thing is, I don't really know what this essay is supposed to be. I feel like if you didn't take Lang, then you're, I guess, just as clueless as I am here. But I haven't seen the rubric. I maybe should have read the rubric before I started this test for this essay. But based on the prompt, it's asking me, it's sort of argumentative, but it's an argumentative essay about a philosophical topic. So it's not, and there's no like sources either. So it's not like a DBQ like what this, oh shoot. Wrong thing. My bad. Hold up. Wait, too far. It's not like here, where this essay is very much like, here's source, where is it? Source D, and here's source A. And this is very much like you speak from the heart, which makes it a lot more philosophical on its own. But I hope that's what I'm supposed to do. 8 minutes left. Where to go? Is this the one where you use your own experience to argue something? Maybe? It says use appropriate specific evidence to illustrate and develop your position. But it doesn't give you sources, so I assume that's what it's talking about, because it's saying specific evidence if it wants me to come up with my own, which is why I used a lot of examples here. Because the one beforehand, what did you say? You said use your own experience to argue something. Yeah, because this one doesn't really do that. This is annotating and analyzing someone else's essay. This is more writing your own. So I think this is what you were hearing. Yeah. I believe so. All right, I'm gonna go continue this. All right, so where do I want to continue the speech from here? The essay from here. Let's use the example of a student taking an AP language exam. English language exam. Wait, I actually didn't check. I was going to check. I forgot. For all these other essays, I wanted to see if how many words I was using, because I heard that 400 to 800 is about what I should be using. I assume these are all going to be less, because I sort of ran out of time. But oh damn! No, this one's like very much in the range, like incredibly in the range. That gives me more hope for this essay as well. Then this might also be a normal amount. 510. I made it in both times. Okay. I thought this was like 300. Okay, cool. That's helpful. I don't know how to define prose, so I looked it up, and Google says it's the opposite of poetry, like with a novel. Oh, fire. Wait, it's actually cool. The reason that I'm choosing to take Lang, I'm not going to take Lit next year, by the way. The reason I chose Lang, like to take Lang and not Lit, is because I'm very much more of a nonfiction person, and especially poetry is what gets to me. Like, I'm good with reading novels, but poetry, oh my god. And so getting to take Lang this year, which is a nonfiction only class, is going to be great. And that's the issue with Lit, is it has poetry. So, cool they have prose essays, because I would be more interested in that, but whatever. If there was like a prose only class, like AP or not, I would consider it. Next year, I still don't know what. My school has a lot of options for English for senior year. I have no clue what I'm doing yet, but I'll find out in like March when I have to decide. So, all right, I have 5 minutes and I'm like 100% completely yapping. I gotta go work. Okay. AP English language. Yeah, I thought this would be like a fun little way to. One could argue that the best way to get through the exam is to think about all the fun that you will have once you finish. A lot of students currently taking the exam have probably spent time contemplating where they will go to get lunch afterwards, or what they want to debrief their friends on, or what essays they want to debrief their friends on. Sorry, that was a music thing. This way, you could spend less time feeling the annoyance of taking an exam. However, that wouldn't quite fit the definition of appreciating the moment and life as a whole. Even during moments where there feels as though there is nothing to appreciate, there is always a silver lining. Personally, during the past 3 hours, I've learned a lot about my current writing skills, as well as a lot of pull information from the passages in the multiple choice section. I don't know if this is like cheeky or is going to get me a 0, but I thought it'd be cool to yap about the exam in the exam. Ignore us till you're done. Okay, I'm not even looking at done. I'm going to take my 2.5 minutes to freaking finish this then. I learned a lot about the chromatic skills as well as a lot of cool information from the passages in the multiple choice section. But I'm going to make that new paragraph. So I'm going to say, all of this would have only been considered in my mind because I spent more time thinking in the present than the future. Furthermore, this won't only help me in the present. Ironically, intentionally thinking about the present will help with the future. Due to my conscious effort to stick to the present throughout the past 3 hours, be able to better ingrain what I learned during the multiple choice in my mind. This is true outside of exams or any strictly academic environment as well. How much time do I have? Because I want to wrap it up here. 50 seconds. Okay, I'm going to go as fast as I can. I might be like a minute over time, but you know. True outside of exams or any strictly academic environment as well. Oh shoot, I'm not typing right now. Oh, what was I going to say? Living in the moment allows for the mind to better encapsulate the emotions felt and the lessons learned. One of the beauties of life is the ability to learn, grow, and feel new things. Constantly thinking about times other than the present doesn't allow for as much physical and I'm just gonna say emotional growth. Therefore, I'm already probably past time. I'm going to finish this last short little paragraph part. Therefore, appreciating the present and avoiding thinking too heavily on what's to come leads to being able to live life to the fullest, as well as simply enjoying the moment more. What was the first part that I said? As well as simply enjoying the moment more, and watch the sunset as is. I don't know if that callback will make sense to a grader, but you know. Alright, that is time, chat. Oh my goodness. Is the only way I can phrase what just happened here. We can turn off the study music. That was rough. Is the only way I can phrase that. That was rough. That was... That was 3 hours of me doing a topic that I'm not super familiar with, never having taken the class, or spend too long looking at the rubric, and instead pushing through the most clueless I've ever been during an exam. Luckily, I have 9 months, 8 months, something like that, to prepare for the actual exam. But I have learned through this that it is probably not the best idea in the world to do an AP exam before the class. Maybe there's a reason that people take the class or choose to self-study for many months beforehand. Let's go see what grade I got. I can put the timer away as well. Let's go see what freaking grade I got on this exam. Okay. So, time to open ChatGPT once more. Once again, we're back with ChatGPT. We're going back to this. Hello. For the final time this summer, I have done a practice AP English language exam before taking the class. Wait, actually, how did I phrase it originally? Damn. With the rubric, prompts, and answers provided, please give me an exam score with the same 1 to 5 system that College Board uses. Don't sugarcoat the answer and give the score. Oh my God. Give the score that a grader would give for the actual exam. Okay, so first off is a multiple choice, which I can just kind of throw in there. Here we go. And this should go all the way to the bottom. Almost there. Here we go. Oh, I need to get all this as well. Yeah. Wait, hold up. How much is the multiple choice worth on the AP Lang exam? 40%. The multiple choice is worth 45%. Here is the prompts and questions. Holy scroll. I might not fit this all on one page. Hello? Oh my God, this is crazy. Yeah, I can't see. Here are my answers. Then I can just input everything that I did. Why is it? Okay, whatever. I can fix that. Wait, I actually didn't need to give it any of that. I already have the... Wait, I'm going to delete all that because I realized that I just need to give it the answers, which exist. Hold up. It doesn't need to know what the questions were. Yeah, let me just find this. Yeah. So I'm actually just gonna... Yeah. Here are the correct answers. Then I can just plop all this in. I did notice the first 3 questions were right, and I'm ecstatic about that. That's great. Alright. Here, and then we go to essay 1 now. Hold up, 1 second. Sorry this takes so long. This always takes longer than I always think it is in my mind. The essays in total are worth 55%, with each of the 3 essays being worth an equal amount. Here is the first essay question and documents. Okay, it can't go that far, so we're just gonna do this. Two of the sources are pictures, so do your best to grade without it and use context clues. Here is the rubric for the first essay. I need to go find the rubric now. Here we go. It's crazy that it's still allowing me to type all this in. Here is my essay number 1. Here is the prompt for essay 2. Let me see if anyone's talked in chat. No, okay, that's good. That's good for me. There's more people who are here now just because they want to see the answer, and that's messed up. I think that you should not be able to see my score if you haven't suffered through everything that I've suffered through in the past 3 hours. And I stand on business with that. Go back and watch the rest of the stream, you bums. I'm joking. Here is the rubric for essay 2. Yeah, it's the 2018 exam. I was questioning earlier which year it was. 2018. I guessed either 2017 or 2022. So I was pretty close on that. Here is my essay 2. Oh, I also haven't checked how long the word count is for the third essay. I was wondering about that. Here is the prompt for essay 3. One more time. Here we go. Back up. Short one here. Here's the break for essay 3. And one last time we go back down. Question 3, that's question 2. Here's question 3. Here is my essay 3. Alright, here we go. Wait, let me highlight it and see what the word count was. I'm sure it's the least of all of them, because I just did not have time. 503. It barely is less than the other one, but still in the range. Alright, with that, let's see what it gives me. No. Okay, there we go. I'm full screen this. Can you see it? Wait. Hold up. Can y'all see this? Wait, this is not the right... Wait, I'm sorry. Can y'all see what I'm saying? You can. That's fine. Okay, that's good. Oh, wait, I'm moving all this. Hold up. Sorry, 1 second. Let me put this above this. This above this. I think I did something wrong. Because I gave it... Yeah, it's like it didn't get... Did it just delete everything I just did? No way. It said something went wrong. I did refresh and it deleted all of it. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna be way less nice to it. And I'm just gonna say... Hold up, let me go back up. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna drop everything. I'm gonna go real quick back to this. I'm just gonna send the entire thing to it. Like everything, just in one. I'm not gonna categorize it for it. And I blame it 100% for everything. Okay, I copied it. Yeah, I know you didn't see it, but it's okay. The multiple choice is worth 45%. The essays are worth 55%, and each of the 3 essays are worth equal amounts. Here is the prompts for the 3 essays, the rubrics for the 3 essays, and the answers to the multiple choice. Let me see if it lets me copy all of this. Boom. Oh, it did. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Okay, here is my work. And then I'm just gonna recopy all of this. Just the whole thing this time though. All 13 pages of it. This way, I mean, it might give me a slightly worse interpretation just because it doesn't. Oh my god, it keeps moving. So, oh my god, dude, ChatGPT is pissing me off. Okay, I guess I'll manually click all these. Oh my god! Oh my god! It might not give me the best score possible because I didn't categorize everything. But you know what? I blame ChatGPT. And we live, laugh, love with the score we get. And I'm sure it'll be the same. It won't be that different. Right? Then I go back to the bottom. Grade it. Here we go. If it's too long, I see. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all of this. Or you know what I can do? I'm going to copy everything but the end and hope that it's long. It fits. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I hope this will all fit. It actually might not, but you know. That shows a green light. It should work. Don't grade yet. I still have to send my work. Please work. Please. If I retry it, will it all go away? No. It all went away. It all just went away, didn't it? Oh my god. Yo, chat, I don't know what to tell you. ChatGPT is actually a bum. I don't know what to tell you. It's just a bum. Oh my god. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. And the annoying thing is I have to stay here until it works, because I didn't do this all for nothing. I could have been done with stream by now. But this freaking clanker keeps not submitting my score. I guess I'll just split it up into more then, and see if it likes it. Oh my god. I swear to God. Okay. Please, for the love of God, work. Or it's not here. It's the... So I'm not going to give it all at once then, I guess. I guess I'll start by giving it just the prompts for everything. Well, I have it all copied, so I'm going to just do this. Here we go. Here is the prompts and documents for the essays. By the way, the multiple choice is worth 45%, and the essays are worth 55%, with each of the 3 essays worth an equal amount. Yeah, okay. Now I can retype this, and I can just get rid of the beginning this time instead of the end. Okay. Here is the multiple choice answer key and the rubrics for the essays. Well, don't grade it yet, because I haven't sent you anything, so you better... Why is it thinking? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now, all of this should work. Now I'm going to re-put this in for the millionth time, and it will work. Oh my god, it's already not working. I guess I'll still manually do it all. Sorry for the... Oh, okay, so I guess we're just going back here now. We're just gonna send it back here. That's fun. I love when you just randomly send me to the other... As you can tell, I'm getting pissed off by this clanker, and I'm not standing for it. I don't think I've ever gotten more rage baited. Oh my god! By a robot. Okay. Here is all my work. Now you may grade. Okay. Please, for the love of God, give me a grade. What did it give me? I'm sorry, what? It says you answered 55 questions. The official release practice tests vary, but generally, a 29 to 25 correct is around the national average. Wait, what do you mean assume? Did I get it or not? Also, my mouse just disappeared again. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, whatever. Okay, I got a 4 out of 6 on the first essay. Not bad. I don't get sophistication. And I get 3 out of 4 evidence. And I get a thesis. Okay. Yeah. That's an essay that I didn't really know what I was supposed to write. It's evaluative, but not rhetorical. Some mention of tabula rasa, central paradox, slippery slope, but mostly misinterpreted or critiquing ideas rather than rhetorical choices. I see. Yeah, I didn't know what I was supposed to write. 4 out of 6, not bad. Not bad. What did I get? Sophistication, okay. 3 out of 4, okay, sure. So what did I get in total? I did not get a 3. No. Okay, also, my mouse is like disappearing, but... No. It's impossible to get a 3, almost 4, with getting a 1 out of 6 on one of the essays, right? What is my actual score? I promise you I failed this exam. I got a 29 out of 55, which is 53%, which is not good. FRQs, 4 out of 6, 1 out of 6, 4 out of 6. I did not get a 3. How? That's actually crazy. Bro, if I got a 3 with this, then how does anyone fail this exam? That's like, there's just no way that's right. Okay, whatever. What did I get overall? That's what I got overall. Debater gets 4 out of 6 on argumentative essay. Okay, again, I didn't know what the rubric was when I wrote the essay, and you know that. This annoying thing has happened again where my mouse has disappeared, so I can't really continue stream until it fixes itself. Well, normally it kind of just reappears. I don't fix anything. Normally what I normally do, I don't know where my mouse is even a little bit right now. How do you open a new tab? Shift T? Control Shift T? Yeah. That reopens the same tab, but you know, it's fine. Normally what I do is I do how to bring back my mouse from disappearing. Yeah, it's already there. And then normally I'm like, it says reconnect your mouse. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then I unplug my mouse and I replug my mouse. And then it now is back to working, but the mouse is still gone. So I'm like, oh no. And then it says restart your computer. I'm like, well, but I can't restart my computer. I'm streaming. And then in like a minute or so, it'll fix itself. Has not fixed itself. Okay. All right, chat. Well, I guess technically it gave me a 3, which I disagree with. There's just no way I got a 3 with my MCQ and SA2 score. But, you know, we take what we get. With that... Oh, my mouse is back. Thank goodness. All right. So with that, there's really not much else to do on stream today. Except for, of course, the Wordle! All right, let's freaking do this Wordle. Hold up 1 second. Let's freaking do this Wordle. Alright, we are starting off. Let me make sure I'm not blocking. I would never block. I'm not blocking. Whale. I saw chat messages were happening. I will respond after this. Ooh, I can get it here in 3. Fetch. Oh, that was a lucky one. Okay, let me look at what your chat was saying real quick. Actually, I'll look afterwards because I'm doing good. I want to do this fast. Yeah, there we go. Let me make sure I'm not blocking. That's so sweet. So it's going to be like desserts. Like butcher, but it's not how you spell butcher. Vanilla. No. Is it not going to be... Okay. I thought it was like for sure going to be desserts. But I don't even see the word dessert here for the spangram. Granulates. Granulate was a word on here, but it's not. Oh, granulated. Okay. So this is going to be like sugar. Sugary. There we go. Yeah. Brownie. Brownie? Brownie, no? Just brown? Okay. Sure. I'm not going to question it. Vertin. Rev. It has to be VE. I don't even know what that's going to begin to be. Sugary, granulate, brown. Oh! It's what you do to a cake. Like, you granulate the stuff, and you wait for it to turn brown in the oven. You... I don't know yet. What else would you do? You pow it. Pound it. You pound it. You, like, break the eggs. You scramble. You mix. You pour. But the D is there. Why is there a W here? It rises at some point. In the oven. You eats. Butter. I went from such a good Wordle to now I'm like, and I had a good start to this trend, so I'm getting stuck. Bro, I don't know. Crib. Bride. Bride would be funny. Brider. Bid. Bitter. I don't know. I don't want to use a hint because I already have so much down, but... Intver. Intrev. Invert. There we go. Invert. You can invert it. Can you? You can invert. You can cut. You can twode. You can panow. You can bro, what? You can freaking crudub. What is B and W doing here? I don't get it. B and W is not clicking to me. There's only 3 words left. So these are kind of big words. I wonder if chat knows and I'm like looking so dumb right now. What's even more likely is the chat's not moving and that last sentence sounded a lot stupider. I don't know even a little bit what this word is going to begin to be. Crate. Bro, what? Wash. It could have been wash, but no. Wonder. Wonder bread is the thing. No. A wonder was a good word, though. Ponder? There's no, the W would be stuck, but... It might start with W. It might start with W. One pod. Wop. One. It'd have to be D. Wand. I'm using a hint. Cube. Yikes. It's gonna be something red. Try. I'm done. Powdered. What is this, though? It's gotta be BR. Or it could be Berts, I guess, but it should probably be Brits. Bertuoden. There's just so many vowels in the middle. Danny. Even if I get a hint, it won't help. I think I might just be bad at strands. Dude, there's just so many vowels. I need another letter, another word. Poi. Deets. Deal. There we go. Turbinado is not a word. Yikes. Tribe. The thing is, I don't know if I saw tribe, but that wouldn't have made sense. Powder was right. You got powder. Especially budget bros. Budget bros, you should know what you're doing. Food wise. But oh yikes. Oh yikes. Oh yikes. That was a rough one. Alright. We can turn off music. Alright, chat. I have been ignoring you for quite a little bit now. Let me freaking read some of you. Let me see what you guys have been up to. But an ad first, because I don't have YouTube Premium. Alright, chat, how you been? How you been, chat? Dino Man, if you're still here, you said ignore till you're done. I didn't read it for forever. I like fiction, but I didn't realize the extent to which you analyze stuff. Low kicking my butt, it's fine. Yeah, the thing is, like, I like reading fiction, like, typically, but what ends up happening in English class is, again, like you said, we, like, overanalyze stuff to the point where it's no longer fun. And it's like, I just want to read the thing, you know? And it's an issue with nonfiction as well. Nonfiction, I also, like, you need to inherently think more critically for nonfiction, which is why it's easier to overanalyze. Like, it's more fine to overanalyze. But yeah, I don't know. I just end up liking nonfiction for that reason. Budget Bros, upload when? Okay, I think I mentioned this last stream. Summer series, for those who do not know, was supposed to come out this summer. Turns out, can't quite edit a video in 2 weeks like I thought I would. So, here's what I'm doing instead. The videos are still happening. They're still going to come out. I still recorded all of them. I've started editing them. I'm going to continue editing them over the course of September, October, November, and release them start of next June, July. So that way, it can still be a summer series, but, you know, come out during the summer, and also give me the time to edit it. In the meanwhile, I still have many other videos I still plan to make. There's one video that I recorded back last February, and I want to release it 1 year after I recorded it, so it's more of like I can add an introspective, like a 1 year later thought process behind the outro. So that will come out. I'm not going to tell you what it is. That will come out late January, early February, if all goes well. And then I have 2 videos that I'm going to be recording throughout the first semester of school. Maybe 3, maybe 2. 2 to 3 videos that I'll be recording throughout the semester, and I'll edit them whenever I have time, and I'll upload them. Because the summer series has to come out in the summer. The video from February has to come out in February. Other than that, the other videos I can release literally whenever. So I'm going to record them all as I go through the year, and I'll edit them, and we'll see when they come out. I'm not going to give any times for when they'll come out, because I know I will break those times like I did the summer series, but we'll see. And when they come out, they'll be fire. Because the thing is, I don't want a situation like last time where I had the resolution video and then I had a deadline to hit, like I needed to get it done by December 31st, and then I didn't finish. So I uploaded an unfinished video. You know? That would be a bad, like I wouldn't want that. So, you know, I'm making most of my videos without a sort of inherent deadline for the resolution video. And we'll see what comes this school year. But I'm much more looking forward to, not much more, but I'm also looking forward to the Study With Me streams, which are returning next week. Because tomorrow is my first day of school. I remember it was either Dino or someone in here, Perfect Takeoff, said that their first day was today. And then, of course, all the California kids have been in school for a couple of weeks now. Budget Bros, I know that you guys had Club Fair today. So how was that? I saw on Instagram some people were posting about that. But that's about all I heard about that. We have our own... We don't really have a club rush or anything like that. But debate team interest meeting, which I've been working tirelessly on because I am curriculum specialists for our debate team. That is happening soon. It is happening, I think, next week. Yeah. So my stream next week will be coming directly from the interest meeting. So I'll let you know how it goes next week. Other than that, before I leave, I do want to mention one last thing. We're doing a revamp for the study abroad videos. Don't say end stream. I'm going to call you anyway. Let me ramble for a second. Let me ramble. One thing I wanted to add before I end the stream. Is that we're revamping a lot of things, which means we're doing new music. We're doing new camera angle. Maybe. We'll see. And overall, a different vibe. So, those will be fun. And with that, I will see you all next week. back to study with me will be very exciting. First day is tomorrow, so I do need to go to sleep. And I'll call Ariel and then go to sleep, so he has something to tell me. And with that, I will see you all next week. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Do something good for future you. Get your homework done. Don't procrastinate. Don't watch reels the whole night. Alright, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Alright, that's all. I'm ending stream. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.